not free speech. Okay, so like I just want to tease it out just for a little bit longer. So it would be as if a black guy stabbed a baby in a different country.
One guy, one time.
Right, and then like, which I guess would be the Hamas attack, and then he would be saying that all black people who discuss the stabbing of the baby or the systemic reasons behind the stabbing of the baby.
You're trying to. You're trying to. All right, you're trying to.
I'm not trying to. I'm trying to say how stupid it is.
It's so stupid, but you can't even make it like that analogy because he's just either A, equating criticizing Israel to stabbing a baby, and then B, also switching the entire analogy. His analogy is wrong. Go ahead.
Fuck, I should have bought me.
See, this is the game he's playing.
What's the game?
He'll say something. You know, you'll say something like, "Here's a guy who stabbed the baby. She go to jail, and he was black." And you're like, "Yes." He was like, "Well, Tim said black people should go to jail." It's like, what the fuck are you talking
Wait, no. You supported someone who's
one guy, one time. One guy, one
because
time.
he was critical of Israel. That's why you did support that. I mean,
I'm sorry, he's not like that.
Because of that,
How
or
was he a
because he
serious
did
person?
other things that were objectively
He's
immoral?
lying.
No, I'm not lying. What's the lie? What
One
are
guy,
you in
one
favor of
guy.
his deportation then for?
I'm not.
You said you were when we had this
He
conversation.
hates Americans shouldn't be
No,
in the country.
no,
I
didn't wanna
said
make
that
this
the State
decision right
Department
now.
has unilateral
Okay.
authority under the law to deport whoever they want.
But you think it's wrong for them to try to deport
I
Michael
don't have any
Khalil?
good support, like survival ones. I don't want to like
Does your brain
commit
work,
to
brother?
carrying.
Can you answer that?
Do you understand the distinction between
Especially now that I have
someone speaking
invisibility,
being
like, why
deported
spend
and the
everything
State
on
Department having the
carrying?
authority to do so under color
And I
of
guess
law?
for a
Do you
boss,
agree with
I
them
would
doing
use-
that?
I believe that Marco Rubio has the authority under the law as
agree with
passed
his
by the
exercise
American
the
people.
authority in that
Exact
context.
same thing he always does. This is what he did with capital punishment too, right? He did the exact same thing. What is
Gonna help
like?
one, yes.
Is like? Is there literally somebody behind the scenes going like, if you say he shouldn't have been deported, we are pulling money out of your bank
It's
account.
not like the
He is
starter
so
shield, too.
desperate
Yeah,
not to
that's
say
good.
this.
It's not good.
It's interesting.
He has really got this formula down because he does the same thing with capital punishment. When I question him about it, I was like, oh, no,
I'm gonna
they
say it's dumb
could
this, but fuck
have
that too much.
committed capital punishment, even though he said should. It's now you're just being now it's just semantics.
I just want to point out,
One guy, one
just when
time.
you say is there someone behind the scenes, I'm not saying that this is the case, but we do know that Tim was seeking some funding mechanisms that ended
One
up
guy,
being
one time.
Russian money going through some sort of like fake man.
Yeah, right. He got it. Through,
Oh shit, okay.
It was
okay.
reported a few months ago that Benjamin Netanyahu and Tim Pool met.
Oh,
along with
no.
Dave Rubin. We also know that Benjamin Netanyahu's son, who is of fighting age, but he's in a Miami high-rise, is a big fan of Tim Pool and often tweets about it. I just wanted to throw that out there because there's a lot of foreign
one
money.
guy, one time.
One guy, one
One
guy.
guy, one time.
That was Lauren Chen of North Southern. Apologies for getting them.
I believe that Marco Rubio has the authority under the law as
Agree with
passed
his
by the
exercise
American
the
people.
authority in that context.
Pause it for 1 second. I will also say that
should go back. I should get the
while
perfect.
the State Department may have the right to revoke visas, if it is found that they're doing it specifically because of free speech, the Supreme Court has also found that that is what curbs their ability to do it.
You can get like, can you get
can, in
blueprints
fact,
from the
have a power that the
bosses
government
when you have a
has,
system
but if
on
it is
somebody? I saw a meme
exercised
that
based
somebody
upon
posted that was like
principles that are anti-constitutional or against the Constitution, then they don't have the ability
like
to do
no
that.
hit
That is
bosses, but with a
free
system on and you
speech
like,
is
doesn't count for
specifically
something. Can you
where
get
the
stuff for it?
government
Like I've never
does
even put a
not
system
punish
on
people
before.
because of their speech. And so even if they
Not
have
that
the
I'm, like, so
ability to
good,
do
but
something,
I
if
just
they
haven't
do
done
it
it.
because it is spurred by speech that the government doesn't like, then it becomes unconstitutional.
Middle, sometimes maybe.
It's
No, in
perfectly
Mahmoud Khalil's
consistent.
case, do you support his deportation?
I think that's a great case. It's perfectly
I would
consistent
say
with his
answer it.
overall
C
position.
minus. I don't care.
It's
No,
perfectly
whether you
consistent.
care or not,
Rage
do you think that
quit.
it
His
should
position.
happen?
I believe that the State Department has the authority to do so,
not
and
asking
I
whether
don't
they have
care whether they
authority.
do. I don't care whether they do or don't.
He's smashing the controller right now.
No, you're saying that you don't care as in
So
you're indifferent. You're indifferent whether they do it or not.
Indeed. So let me say this: when I said in the last debate, Marco Rubio, under the law, has the authority to do so, and I don't really care. He then came here and said Tim thinks people should be deported for speech about Israel. You see
Okay,
the
no,
distinction?
so
You're fine with it. You're fine with him
Should I
doing
quit?
that,
I'm gonna
aren't you?
quit.
Fine with and don't care are different things.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
He takes a sip for his
No!
applause break.
Actually, go back. Let's get that sip.
Okay, I'm
because
fucking it up
he
so
actually
much.
thinks
I
he's
am. I'm
cooking
gonna
here,
quit
which is
because I don't
very
want to spend
funny.
the health.
You're fine with it. You're fine with him doing that, aren't you?
Fine with and don't care are different things.
So,
It's too important. It's too important.
Why
I'm
do
sorry.
you do this, bro?
What are you talking about?
No, it's
Why?
not.
What is the point?
He does care.
Yeah.
This is the thing.
I don't
Is that
care at
he's
all.
always talking about free speech and whatnot. He does care. It's just that for whatever reason, people come up with their own conclusions
Sure.
as to why.
No, the news shit's for the home.
If you went on Twitter and tried to say any of this and tried to defend her, every reporter in mainstream media would like call for your f***ing head to be cut off. Over the past year, a scandal has unfolded across the internet and mainstream media and cable news and pretty much every kind of news media forum that I would
wait, I
say
wanna hear
is
this.
the
I haven't
biggest
played Lost.
political media scandal.
But on something I don't care about because it's shitty, like Bad Hospital. Oh wait, hold on. Let me do the sound too. I forgot about that. I had to switch it off the headphones.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bad Hasbara.
The world's most moral podcast.
My name is Matt Lieb. I'll be your world's most moral co-host for this podcast.
Okay.
Matt, your other world's most moral co-host.
Wait,
What's up?
why are you Jedi pilled right now?
Try to make this go a little smoother. Wait, do I take 2x damage with the
These are
thing in
not
the
the Patreon
backpack? I
subscribers
didn't.
we're
I've never
looking
checked that.
Obi-Wan. That is a name I have not heard in a long time. Thank you. You look great,
Oh, wait, I
Daniel,
thought I
by
had-
the way.
never mind.
Thank you.
know,
Got to give a shout out to the Egyptian brand Cotton with a K. They have a store in Lower East Side. Checked them out yesterday and
Hell yeah.
got some new. I've been desperately in need of
New threads.
cold weather.
Thought I was on a
threads.
different playthrough
yeah.
apparently.
You know, we don't get enough cold weather in Los Angeles for me to own all of the flannels and hoodies that I own.
Yeah.
So the point is that I wish I did not live here. I wish
They
I
need to have like the opposite of like the
opposite
opposite of a sauna, like a meat freezer.
I
Like
love-
where
yeah.
you go
Oh
to
my
a
god,
spa
I'm already fucking it
and
up.
instead of a
I'm already
cold plunge,
fucked
you
up.
just
I'm
sit
fucked.
in like
It's over.
in a
Wait.
freezer.
in a freezer
I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love that.
in
Like,
your hoodie, like in your warm shit.
the scene at the end of The Shining where Jack Nicholson is frozen in the snow. That's what I want for me. I just would love to die as a meat popsicle. I like cold more. I like cold. Who knows what it is?
Oh, no.
Genetics? Probably.
Have I got a coast for you?
What?
called
Yeah,
East Coast.
coast, that coast. Yeah, I really should. But hey, let's give a shout out to our producer Adam Levin on the ones and twos. Let's tell everyone to subscribe. Do
Oh,
that
no,
now.
fuck.
Hit the
You just did
bell
that, fuck.
on the YouTube
You would do
page.
it so soon afterwards.
You hit that bell.
We're still short of 50,000.
Oh, we're so close though. We're so close.
I'll believe it when I see it.
It'll never happen. So yeah, do that and give us 5 stars and
No,
review
no,
for
no.
all of you, audiophile
Okay, I'm fucked, I'm
hogs
fucked,
who are out
whatever.
there who are like, I don't want to watch
I'll
it, I just
never-
want to
I'll
listen.
never do it.
That's fine. I encourage that. It's much better to listen than to watch. But
If you are an
watching-
audiophile, please know the audio quality on this podcast and the amount of care that goes into it.
a lot,
It's above your dirtbag average.
way above the dirtbag
Oh.
average. You should see Adam's notes at the end
Oh, I
of
hit the
every
wrong button.
episode. He
was
loves
embarrassing.
every cough, every sneeze, every hard sigh.
I'm fine
Which,
with doing
by
it
the
3
way,
times. I'll do it
Daniel,
again.
sometimes that hard side of yours. I'll listen to it and I'll be like, oh, is he
No!
okay? You know?
What are you talking about?
Just listen, I do a hard
I
side.
can do it. I 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 swear. I'm not.
It's all the yoga classes I took in my youth. You know, they always want you to vocalize your out breaths.
Yeah. Oh, is that right?
You've never done yoga?
I did it one time to impress my
And
wife.
breathing in and releasing.
It's too Too sexual for me. I don't. Yoga.
I should
is,
keep the freeze so if I get
I mean,
trapped
who are we
with the
kidding? We're all pretending
but I'm
as
not
if
going
it's
I can
about
talk
working
about it.
out. It's about sex. You ever seen a yoga class? Why?
Yeah.
Why you bending over like Today's
Well,
episode.
you just don't like it because that would be a Matt on a Matt.
Oh, hey, Matt Olmec crime over here. Today's episode is brought to you. Today's episode is brought to you by PAL Humanity. PAL Humanity was founded by 2 Palestinian physicians and is dedicated to serving their community amidst crisis. The charity organizes field medical visits and distributes essential items, including diapers, menstrual and hygiene kits, and instant formula. Their work prioritizes prenatal care, children with special needs, and medication distribution. If you have any money that you can spare, please consider going to palhumanity.com right now and donating. They need the money
broken.
more than
My
we
focus is
do.
broken. It's
So
over.
please consider them for your, especially during the holidays. For if you're already spending money on bullshit, might as well make it
For
count.
people you don't really care about,
You don't really care about that.
who don't need it,
Oh, my mom. Shut up. What about other people? So go to palhumanity.com and donate now. And if you want a bonus episode of this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/badasbar and get your bonus episode
man,
every
last week's was
week.
a banger.
Oh,
Troy Thorne.
such a banger. If you
2
haven't,
full hours just stuffed full of. It
Stuffed
was,
full
it was the fattest mince.
yeah, stuffed. Daniel, what's the spin?
Well, on reflection, I probably should, given a guest, I probably should have picked X.
Oh, no.
Artists like Sadat X, Scratch DJs, The Executioners, X Clan, Kings X, XTC, but I didn't.
DMX.
DMX, yeah,
The band X, the punk band with Billy
Damn, that
Zoom.
sucks.
very good. But I don't have enough. But when I was recently in Burlington,
die, I'm
Vermont,
gonna die.
former stomping grounds of one Bernie Sanders, the world's biggest enemy of the sovereign state of Netanyahu.
That's right.
I picked up some
Home to the Coat Factory.
That's
Okay, not
right.
great, not great, but they did better.
Picked up this amazing record by Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin, and
I didn't have to
Alison
heal.
Krauss
That was the
called Raising Sand. Beautiful, I think Grammy-winning collaboration. And I thought, what other great collaborative albums do I have? This is just gorgeous. I cannot recommend it enough.
Okay.
Robert Plant can still sing.
Oh,
I got
mind if I
Otis.
do?
I got a lot, but I'll go through them real quickly.
Sure.
Otis Redding and Carla Thomas, King and Queen.
Ascended
Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway.
I don't know either of those.
Oh my God, Donny Hathaway. They got you got it. They cover You Got a Friend. They cover Be a Real Black. Or they wrote Be a Real Black for Me. You've Lost That Loving Feeling. Incredible, beautiful soul.
I love You've Lost That Loving Feeling. Righteous Brothers.
This is an interesting collaboration.
Yeah, I think I
Laura
missed that
Nero
opportunity.
and LaBelle. LaBelle, as in Patti LaBelle and her trio LaBelle, who were an
Ah.
amazing soul trio in their own right in soul and disco. And this is a collaborative, like they do old girl group like
Yeah, no, I don't.
stuff, like My Boyfriend's Back, that kind of stuff. And
Oh,
it's credited to Laura Nero and LaBelle, but to me, LaBelle are the real stars of this. But anyway, it's
Sure.
called Gonna Take a Miracle. Some jazz.
Oh,
Stefan
damn, I have
Grappelli,
no
the
souls.
French
Shit.
jazz violinist, and the
Sucks.
Canadian piano player Oscar Peterson live in Sweden, the Skoll
Nice.
concert.
Nice.
A couple of Danger Mouse collaborations, Black Thought and Danger Mouse, Cheat Codes from a couple of years ago. Obviously,
Cells. I said cells, not
Danger
souls.
Doom.
They're called cells.
MF Doom, Danger Mouse, Adult Swim collaboration, which is where I first heard about Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which I then got hooked on.
Wow. Look at
They're
that.
I definitely
They're all
don't
over
just
the
call
side.
everything
Hell yeah.
souls, no matter what I'm
Uh,
playing.
Fucking Jay-Z and Kanye West, Watch the Throne.
Sure.
Really solid album. I didn't want to like it. It's really good.
Yeah. I wonder what those two guys are.
I could take the
Yeah.
money and then try to find meat, but
I think-
I'm not
I
going to do
think
that. That's
Kanye
too
West
risky
might
for
be
me.
recovered.
Too risky for my blood.
You know,
We'll see.
it's hard to come back from Hitler, you know.
Well,
I mean, listen.
fair enough. Fair enough. But we forgave Germany. Surely we can forgive a mentally ill
Yeah.
African-American producer from Detroit who's one of the greatest hip-hop producers of all
No,
time.
no thanks.
Hey, he doesn't need my forgiveness. You know,
He doesn't
I'm just
want
some
it.
guy.
Straightforward.
Just some Jew. Great collaboration between a married
These are
couple,
probably cursed.
Jean Grey and Quelle Chris, with the album Everything's Fine. Hannibal Buress is on this album.
Oh,
Oh, fun.
Anyway, terrific album. Jean Grey retired from rapping.
I really
after
don't
this,
want to do a
very
curse
sadly.
biome,
One of the
like at
female
all.
MCs of all time. And finally, a rapper I heard about on that
I
album.
do have the
as a guest
invisibility,
is Denmark VC.
but still, I don't want to do it.
He's also from Detroit. his collaboration with
none of
Scud
them.
One called Cult Classic, and that is a whole whack load of collaborative LPs. I'm sorry, I
Okay, the
had
Still
to-
Village kind of sucks.
I had twice that.
Slimmering Sanctuary
There we
sucks
go.
more though.
I am.
I don't want to like deal with the canon guys. One slip up, half my health is.
I mean, I'm
Oh,
always impressed by your ever-growing record
fuck, what's happening?
collection. And that's what's spinning at the Mate household. Now, before we introduce our guest, you alerted me to something that I had not seen. I watched the first 4 seconds and immediately turned it off because I was like, I need to watch this fresh.
That's a good boy. That's exactly what you should do, because this,
Ew, weird.
you know,
What is this?
you can never
Good
never
boy.
recreate the first time seeing something like this. Like we
Yeah.
want to be with you. Most people watching this will be the first time. I've already seen it, but I'll enjoy watching your reaction. This apparently is an APAC video. That's what the people who have been posting
Okay, I
it are
guess
calling it. It doesn't name itself as an APAC video.
Okay.
It certainly
I wanna
reads
play
as an
the
APAC
Scarecrow.
video, but either way,
The
it's
final
a
boss.
video
Like if I'm
for
trying to get the
Americans
next
by
cell, I'm
some
just gonna do the
organization
straightforward
that
path.
wants
I
you
guess.
to
Love Israel.
love Israel and appreciate Israel and be grateful for Israel this Thanksgiving, this Christmas season, this holiday
Well,
season.
I'm very excited to celebrate the holidays with Israel, and here it is.
It's the start of a new day. And thanks to Israeli innovation, our journey will be made easier.
What the fuck?
Oh shit! Is this the thing? I'm sorry. This is the Bad Hezbollah theme song, but like an APAC version of it. I like it.
It is more than that. It's not just such and such us. It's like such
It's
and such
Bad Boy
us.
Slim
You're
does the
welcome.
Israel
Yeah,
theme.
yeah. Such and such us, and now you're welcome.
That's right.
Our connections clearer.
No, that's the one.
Our food more
Hell
plentiful
yeah,
and
cherry
nourishing.
tomatoes, baby. Show us that drip irrigation.
Cleaner.
Keep those guys. Dude.
Yes.
Our
I
community
love the first renewable genocide. Thank you. Thank you.
safer.
I don't know the song.
Our loved
Medical,
ones
Visimax.
healthier.
So long. Dear losers. Oh, fuck.
one step at a time. We can take it one step till we get it right.
From morning to night, whatever the challenge,
So
Israel
long, please.
is America's partner for a better future.
I love Jewish music.
Jewish music.
God.
That earworm little hook, I'm already writing lyrics to it. Doing genocide.
I think Cole Porter, I read something like that recently, that he apparently said that about like his songs,
Doing
like his
genocide.
musical songs and stuff. He's like, he wanted to make them
Yeah.
Jewish,
love
which
it.
basically he was like using like chromatic
I gather
melodies
pedophiles.
that use a lot of like half steps and
It
accidentals,
works with so
basically.
many things.
So many things that Israel's known for. Drip
He said he
irrigation.
wanted them to sound Jewish. I guess he
sexual
watched Fiddler on the
assault.
Roof and was like, oh my god, this changed
Oh
my life.
man, I love how enduring the theme song of this podcast is. The fact that it is, you know, when all else fails, it is the main point
Fuck, I don't want to go in
of,
there.
you know, sales.
I
It's the
doubly don't wanna
main
go around
argument
the,
for Israel, for every normie out there. You
Oh,
know,
God, thank God.
it's like they have their racist arguments. So we're protecting the West from the
There's like a little
Islamic
trap up
horde.
top
You
you
know,
can
they
run
have all of
across,
the
and
woke
there's, like, the
arguments
three
for
swinging,
indigenous peoples who are
whatever.
reclaiming our land. But for the normies,
That's right.
Really
it's,
difficult to navigate.
you
I
sure
don't really
like
bother
getting
to try
around
that
on
much.
Google Map, huh? Oh, you sure like eating two little teeny tiny tomato, huh?
But by the
Whoa,
same
whoa, 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 whoa,
token,
whoa,
like
stop.
for,
Okay.
like for the real normies,
Uh-huh.
like you watch television or you're on the internet and you see an ad just for another country, like Finland, like that Monty Python song, that
Yeah.
sort of milquetoast song about how nice Finland is. And it's
Yeah.
just- and
Damn,
you
I didn't
expect
think he
it to
would
be a
spot me
tourism
like that. That was
ad.
crazy.
Yeah, visit.
Like,
He must have seen me
visit
on the
whatever,
last, when
or-
I went down there
or
before I
but
went
this is
invisible.
like
Because I've never seen them
great
do that.
for us
Oh
because we're
no!
implicated
Fuck
in
you,
every
man.
aspect of your life.
Well, they can't.
We're
No,
not
it's
asking
like
you to
literally
come over
the
here
one,
and see what it's
like,
like.
the enemy I don't
You're
want to
just
face.
just so
in
you know,
everything.
you're welcome.
Daniel, you're asking them to stop
I hate
being
those guys,
Israeli.
dude.
They can't stop being Israeli. Part of being Israeli is being perpetually pissed off that people aren't thanking you.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah,
that
something
just,
valuable.
it's
He has like an
literally-
amulet, probably.
I mean,
but
it's maybe the
I'm just gonna
only
tell
like
myself nothing
actual
else, 'cause I don't wanna fight it.
Ashkenazi thing about Israel is how much of their tone is, "What are your fingers
like,
broken? You can't call me." Like,
yeah, it's a flip
whatever
on
they're called in
the
this.
song "The What" by Notorious B.I.G. and Method
Yeah.
Man. It's on the one hand, fuck the world, don't ask me for shit,
yeah,
and on the other hand, and
I
everything
don't know if
you
can
got
parry
us
those
to
things
thank
either.
for.
I don't think you
yeah,
can.
You know?
right. Yeah, I mean,
We hate
know,
you, and you're welcome.
Yes.
And it would be nice if you gave us a little credit. You
Yeah.
Goyish fucks, you subhumans.
You subhumans.
We love you so much.
Anyway,
We
whatever. It's worth it.
bestow
I'll take
our
no
light
souls.
upon you,
Gonna
benighted
get to the
nations.
boss.
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
As
And
long as I
what?
get the
And do
scrolls
we
that
get
I
any
need.
thanks for it? No. So it's so Israeli.
no,
It's-
don't worry. I'll just sit here in the dark of my prison cell at The Hague.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I guess
that's
I can finish that
fine.
off.
Just as Elon Levy is being hung, you're welcome.
We invented a new app where you can dial
Yeah.
us with a press of the button, and still you can't call.
Oh, it's so great. Shout out to APAC, whoever the fuck made that dog shit. And now I want to introduce our guest, who I'm very excited about. And I want to introduce him
You can
by
use.
showing
Oh,
you
there's
some
the
of his
blueprint at the
amazing
end. Oh,
content,
fuck! I should go
of
through.
the reporters that
No,
you know,
I
I've
don't
been
wanna waste my
following
health,
for the
though,
last
but there's a
I
blueprint.
mean for me for a long time, but for the last 2 years of the new underground reporters that I've been following, he's one of my favorites.
Oh, this is so stupid.
You have probably come across his videos at some point if you are on social media and you are pro
Maybe for a different
Palestine.
run.
I'm gonna play you one of the videos.
You go back on, like, one boss.
just to give any of our audience who
Two.
hasn't seen Andre a taste
double
of
this
his
one.
content.
Oh, great job.
Here is one that has everything. Here we go.
You're gonna arrest me? What are you gonna arrest me for? What are you gonna arrest me for? Hey, look at me. What you gonna arrest me for? Go there. Stop touching me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. There was just a ramming attack near the tunnel checkpoint in the West Bank near Bethlehem. And for context, the tunnel checkpoint controls a settler-only road that passes through the West Bank.
See, oh my
And it
God,
is
that scared
surrounded
me.
by the apartheid wall. Immediately, the Israeli army shut down every nearby town and city, as they do in collective punishment of Palestinians. And I happened to be in Bethlehem at the time, so I went to check it
Insane!
out.
It's insane!
And as I was returning, I was stopped by the army, who questioned me who I am, and who really didn't like the fact that someone was reporting on their roadblocks.
I'm sorry, I love this still right here of him.
All right, fuck it.
Looking
No,
at
go,
the
go, go.
ID.
Who really didn't like the fact that someone
What
was
the
reporting
fuck is this?
on their roadblocks. And after I showed
take
them
it.
my press pass, they threatened to arrest me. They banned me from entering, and they started pushing me. You understand What do you mean now it's closed? So it wasn't closed 10 minutes ago, now it is? Go there! Look, I'm gonna go grab my stuff. I'm not under your jurisdiction.
No!
You're
Oh,
a soldier.
damn it.
I'm a civilian. I'm not under military law. So I'm gonna go and get my stuff. You're not a civilian. You're from Russia. But
So
then
was
I showed them my Israeli-
Jabotinsky, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
A lot of your fucking founders were from Russia, you fuck.
I love. Are we gonna play this game?
You want to talk about?
You're not even from here. You really want to play this? You want to play this game, buddy? But I love the way this video ends because this is the crux of it right here.
And everything
He showed us Israeli ID.
changed completely. They said, why didn't you tell us sooner? And immediately let me through, said I can go wherever I want.
I didn't think it would be
And
like that.
This is
I put my controller down, I was taking a
unbelievably
drink.
racist country. It is crazy. If you're Jewish Israeli, you can do pretty much anything. And
I
if
don't
you're an
wanna curse, I don't
international
wanna do curses
journalist,
right now.
or
This is going
worse,
too well.
Palestinian, you're kind of fucked.
More or less.
So,
Slight hiccups.
ladies and gentlemen, everyone else, please welcome, first time on this podcast, journalist, activist. You know him, you love him. Andre X is here.
Hi, good to be here.
Great to have you. We are big fans of your content. And,
Likewise.
Oh, thank you. I mean, we just sit at home and talk
Oh
shit.
shit, there's another one.
You are actually there in the West Bank, and yeah, I just want to start off with asking about you. How you ended up there. The
Wasn't aware that X was a Jewish name. And I sort of associated with Black Muslims.
Oh, come on!
It's all
Dude, I hate those guys
fascinating
so
to me.
much.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, I hate to sound like a IOF soldier, but where are you from? And
how did you get there?
And how did you get
Hoping
there?
I find a chicken wing.
Yeah, I got here
Or whatever turkey leg, I
sort
don't
of
know what it is.
accidentally. I was here on a holiday visiting my grandparents in Tel Aviv, who were there at the time. And I just came here for 2 weeks.
Ostrich?
From
Right,
Russia.
something in, like, Monster
and
Hunter,
on the
I
day
don't
that I
know.
was supposed to fly back to Russia, Russia decided to invade Ukraine. And
I haven't
so I
played the new-
didn't
isn't
take
there, like,
the
a new
flight
Monster
tickets
Hunter?
because
Not, like, new,
there was
but,
an immediate wave of repression against any kind of political
The last one I played was World.
dissidency in Russia.
And then they had, like, a mobile
lots
one,
of
I think, that they
opposition
moved over.
people
Not mobile,
went
but,
to
like,
jail immediately. And you know, so if I were to stay in Russia, I would have to shut up, and I find myself unable to shut up. So I just I just applied for the easiest passports that I could apply for, and that was the Israeli passport. It took me 3 months. 3 months later, I had Israeli citizenship.
Wow.
And
Well, I wanna get
because
the
I was
blueprints.
like, I didn't plan to immigrate. I didn't know where I was coming to. This was a new world. Up until then, I had been focused on the post-Soviet space in all of my work. But since I found myself here, I decided, okay, I need to figure out where I am. So I started researching and going to places and talking to everybody I could talk to and ask all kinds of questions. And becoming more and more horrified with each new thing that I found out about what this place is and what the principles that it is built upon. So yeah, at some point I realized that I had become part of an apartheid system and like of a settler colonial project, and that I need to either leave or start doing something about
shit,
it.
there's another scroll.
So
This is such
doing
a
stuff.
fascinating premise. I've never. It's like accidental aliyah, and it's almost science fiction. You know, like you
should be able to see
accidentally
what's at
end
the
up in a
bottom of
place
the,
that everyone
elevator
knows
now.
about, and you somehow don't know much about it, but you have some relatives there, and like you arrive there with no priors, and very quickly realize, oh fuck, I've gone from the frying pan to the fire, but you understand, like no one who moves there comes as a blank slate. People go there, they're ideologically driven, or they're going to do activism. And I love that you arrived with just your head on your shoulders, your moral principles, your political commitments, and your skills as a journalist, and very quickly found yourself
No. Hello.
a citizen of the place, and B, in short order, doing some of the most courageous and
Come back here.
uncompromising work
Oh.
against that
I went
system
in
of anyone who's lived there their entire lives.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Look, for me, I think I'm in this position where it's much easier for me to do this kind of stuff because for Palestinians, they just face the risks are just so much higher, and the repercussions for everything is so much higher. And for Israeli activists, you know, for them going into activism means like cutting off their entire connections, fighting with their family, like destroying their previous
indication of
life.
what other
For me, my
area
previous life was
is.
already destroyed, so like there was nothing to.
I love it. You were a
to
man with
destroy
nothing
further.
to lose. It's incredible. But you do have family there. You said when you came, you were visiting. What'd you say, your grandparents? In Tel
Yeah,
Aviv?
they were here. They actually also were staying here for a while, but they also made accidental aliyah and stayed here for a while, and now they left the country as well. So now I'm
What
the
are
only
their
one left.
What are their thoughts on what you're doing?
Why did I do it? Why did I do it?
Commented, you know, have they talked to
panicked,
you
I
in
panicked.
person? Are they leaving
gave
angry
myself
comments
away.
on your Instagram?
And for them, like because they also this is not
He's gonna hit me,
their
he's gonna hit me now,
conflict.
fuck.
For them, Russia Ukraine is
okay.
much more present. So
what?
I think this doesn't lead to that many conflicts, but generally they do disagree with me on stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it is nice
Oh,
to,
now you're here.
you know, be in this particular position.
Yeah,
because,
imagine if you had
like
come
you
back
said,
in a way
you don't
more
have
awkward
to,
situation.
deal with family who's there trying to tell you that you're a bad person. But also, what I appreciate about your content is that you are using what I think, you know, like liberals out here would call your privilege in order to display actual solidarity with Palestinians. In terms of the Palestinian journalists that you have worked with, you
I haven't
had
seen any like
multiple videos of watching them be harassed, arrested, put in administrative detention, while you, by virtue of having an Israeli passport and being an Israeli citizen, are immediately put in a clearly higher status than them. I want to play one video of yours that I just thought was such an amazing use of your, you know, of you basically you use apartheid against
I have no
itself
confidence in
by
fighting,
the fact that
defeating
you are an
either of
Israeli
those
citizen.
guys.
You're like, you have
Without,
more rights than the journalists you're working with who are Palestinian, so you use it in a way that I think I would like to hope I would use it if I was in your situation. So here is a video of you and some Palestinian journalists who are being detained.
Ooh.
It's a video. Welcome. Want me to send you? Huh? Do you want me to send you? Give me a number. We were in the press tour in the Jordan Valley and we were detained by the Israeli army. There are a bunch of journalists there, and as you can
Oh my God! It went
I'm
the
one
worst it
who's
could
filming
possibly
because
have
I'm the
gone.
only one who has an Israeli passport, so I'm the only one who's allowed to film.
Defending my country.
Who are you defending? You're right now detained a bunch of people, stole their IDs, and you're standing and chatting. This is defending. This is how you defend your country.
So I can tell you right now that's
Oh, they're
not
still following me.
how
They're
I
on me.
defend
They're
my
on my
country.
ass.
Okay, that's
Clearly.
there is terrorists that I stopped.
Yeah, there are terrorists up there. Up there, there's a settlement called Maskiot. It hosts a lot of terrorists.
Ah,
They committed
fuck
a lot
me,
of terror
come
attacks. They
on.
broke a woman's hand here. They burned down a house. Yeah, it's funny to you? Funny. Why is it funny?
You're so stupid. That's what's funny.
Just having fun.
For you.
What IDF means?
Good times. Good times. Good times.
I
Good.
never heard of it. I heard of IOF.
Say that again.
I heard of
What's the other
IOF.
one? Okay. Good.
That one, that's the one that I have heard of. IDF, I don't know.
What is that? IOF?
Israeli Occupation Forces.
I stands for Israel.
Just to their face. This is, for me, it is so cathartic
Wait, does
to
it
watch
not know
this.
I'm there?
To
It
watch
just
you
followed me without
explain
knowing.
to
It didn't
someone,
bite. It didn't look like it was trying to bite me.
you don't know what the IOF is. We all been
Now
talking.
he
No, I
knows.
don't know about that.
Yeah, now he knows.
He's about to tell you. He's about to do Sesame Street for you. I stands for Israel. We play the rest of that.
Oh yeah.
I is for Israel. That's good enough for me.
Okay, hold on. Here is the rest of that.
Stands for Israel.
That's good enough for me.
Bad start.
What?
That's.
Thank you.
He said bad start.
On what
grounds are you arresting
them?
I forgot about that.
On what grounds are you?
So I mean, truly, like.
On the grounds of Yehuda and Shomron.
Yeah, on the
there's food in that
grounds of Judea and
Oh, look.
Samaria. Yeah, I so when I watch something like that, you know, I'm seeing something that you don't, I think, often see with a lot of on-the-ground reporting, which
fuck.
is
Sorry.
being like actively hostile is the wrong word, but it's like you're being contentious with these soldiers. What have been the consequences for doing this kind of work? Like, you know, what have, when I see these videos, you know, I get nervous for it because I'm like, this seems dangerous. What have there been any, you know, violence that you have experienced because of this?
Look, the way that video ends is that two of my colleagues get blindfolded, get their hands tied up, get put into a military car and driven away to a
I hate
military
them.
base.
I hate them so much. I hate
While
them.
I'm just left standing there because there is nothing like. By Israeli law, there is nothing that they can do to me because I'm not under, like as I said in the first video, I'm not under military law. I am a civilian
Oh,
because
cool.
I
Awesome.
hold an Israeli citizenship, while everybody
Big
else
waste of
there
money, but worth it.
is under military law,
Worth
and
it.
the army
I'll
can do
look around
whatever
that
they
first.
want with them at any point. So for me, like, obviously there are consequences, and I have been attacked many times. The worst one was when I was hit on the head with a stick by a settler who pierced my eardrum, and I couldn't hear for a couple of months on one ear.
I too got my ear pierced in Jerusalem.
It's a different thing, Daniel.
That was on purpose.
Daniel, different thing.
Oh my god.
I was 17.
And it was by a settler, I'm sure.
By definition.
I mean, yeah, so, I mean, that sounds crazy, but...
Look, it happens. I have 14 court cases
That
against
is
me.
wildly
but
hit
it's, yeah.
Damn, I love the rap
But
sheet.
like it's
All right,
civilian
next
courts. It's like as I said in the first video, when you're a Jewish Israeli, you can do whatever you want. Like this country is remarkably free if you are a Jewish Israeli. Like it's freer than some like liberal representative democracies. But if you're a Palestinian, it's a horrifying fascist dictatorship.
Right.
Oh, no. Okay,
So
wait, I'm
I
so stupid. I was
get
about
to
to-
be, you know, like more engaged because like I won't suffer the consequences nearly as much. And right now, the person with whom I filmed that video, just 3 weeks ago, he was kidnapped by the army. He's now held in administrative detention with no charge.
Oh my god!
And there will be a hearing in a week. That's they already
That was
sentenced
so
him,
close.
sentenced him for 6
I looked
months.
away. I put my controller down on my lap.
Like, with no trial, with like a military court that is held inside the
If I didn't have the
inside
sound
the
on
prison
at
cell.
all, I wouldn't have noticed that was happening.
What was
And
he
that's
charged
what- and-
with?
These are the consequences for the Palestinians.
And that's what happens with you present.
This is what happens with me, Preston. This is what happens when somebody's filming. Yes. He is held on suspicion of, how did they phrase it?
No, hey.
Oh, threatening regional security. That's the that's the suspicion. It's not a charge. but this is
Destabilizing the
what they
Middle
are-
East.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know for what? For doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, because he's a reporter. He goes around the Jordan Valley. He makes videos. Like he does the exact same thing as me, and now he's held in a concentration camp by the Israeli military.
But Israeli Jewish citizens are famously a stabilizing influence on the regional security, as opposed to the existence of Palestinians who are trying to tell their own stories.
Yeah, Middle East never been more stable.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible.
We're working on it.
What's that? Oh, you're working on it.
We're working on it.
It's incredible to watch your content, and you know, I've seen one of the abilities that you have, I mean, rights that you have as an Israeli citizen is you're also able to leave and come back at your leisure. You know, I think I saw you in a video of you when you went to Oslo, and you know, it's one of those things that you know, I realized in watching this was that you have, you know, the ability, like all the Israelis do, to at some point just go. And you, I don't know. For me, it struck me as interesting because you see how much the mobility of Palestinians are you know, deliberately hindered by the you know, Israeli regime.
I don't
and
feel like looking
you
around
know, in the
anymore. I'm just
video
gonna go buy
where
meat
you
from
were,
the
you know, that we
store.
showed at the beginning, the way it's cut is you're just showing the apartheid, you know, right in everyone's face. I don't think people have seen Israel in this type of way before, at least not, you know, large masses of people seeing, you know, you open that video with talking about a ramming attack that had happened at a checkpoint.
Big deal.
You then go into
Lost my cool.
what exactly that checkpoint is and how it is specifically an apartheid road, in which you can see the wall right there in the background. And in the foreground, you can see a road very specifically.
Oh my God!
for Israel
I'm sorry.
And only for
I'm sorry about your door.
And
Forgive me.
yeah, you know, I look at that and I see that how, if you're someone who lives in the West Bank, if you're someone who is a Palestinian, this is the reality that they're living with. And I just don't think a lot of people get that, even from documentaries that are about this kind of stuff. It's like, you know, so I appreciate what you do.
Okay,
yeah,
I'll take it.
with
That's
freedom
nice.
of movement,
Okay,
that's
now I can buy the
definitely
50%.
it's
Yeah,
one of
full
the
house.
biggest differences, and let alone moving, you know, going out of the country within Palestine, people are not allowed to move. Ayman, he's now held in 48 across the Green Line, and he's there for the first time. For the second time. The first time he was also under arrest. The only time in his life he told me that he has seen the sea was while he was being transferred on a prison bus from one prison to another a few years ago.
I still have the starting shield. I need to get this
like
one. I'm gonna
it's
do
a
it.
half-an-hour drive
I still
from
have
here,
enough for
the
the,
sea,
chicken
and he has
leg.
never seen it. And this is the reality for the Palestinians here.
I have a two-part question for you, Andre. Number one, I'm really struck by your choice to only engage with them in English.
I think it's 4,000.
At least in the
right?
videos that we've seen, and their sort of bemused enthusiasm at, okay, I'll play with you in English. I'll show how cosmopolitan I am, and I'll answer. You know.
Wait, hold on.
And they try to talk to you in Hebrew, and you're like, no, this is for an international audience. We're gonna do it in English. We're gonna do it my way, and they follow your lead. Where did that instinct come from? And just, can you tell us anything about the sort of the dynamic of that in terms of watching them become aware that in fact they are performing for an international audience, and it's almost playful, but you always get the last laugh. It's always at their expense. So I'm interested about that approach.
This is it, right?
And
Okay,
secondly, and you can take these in either order. Do you try to engage with Israelis
Wait, no, the meat.
back
The meat.
in
I need my meat.
48 Israel to be like, yo,
But
like
the keys. I just
I'm new
didn't
here
wanna waste
and
the
I'm
keys.
doing
Make
more
sure.
than you. Why don't you come with me? Like other like Israeli journalists, press
which one was it? It was-
people who think of themselves as liberal or
Isn't
pro-peace
it that
or
one?
whatever.
No.
What is
That's a-
your?
no.
How are you trying to communicate, if at all,
The top
the
one?
work
No.
you're doing to people who
Was
could
it?
be
No.
joining you and making a difference?
Maybe it was that one.
So
right in
in terms
the
of
middle there.
English, I mean, I'm more comfortable in English than I am in Hebrew. So when they're happy to talk to me in English, I prefer that. Sometimes they don't speak English, and then I switch to Hebrew. Yeah, oftentimes they are, you know, they speak very good English and they're happy to engage. And some of the time they want to show themselves off and they want to play to an international audience and they like make little comments. Sometimes
It's not this one either, is it? Is it? Okay, it is.
like put masks on and hide themselves because they're afraid of repercussions. They're afraid that they won't be able to leave the country. In terms of the Israeli audience, I like the stuff that I make is not for an Israeli audience.
no,
If
what
you
if
want
there's
to talk to
another
an
health
Israeli
file? I'll be
audience,
so
it needs to
mad.
be in a completely different style and in a
I
completely
guess I'll get
different
like money back,
language,
though.
genre, everything. Because you know, and it's like I have a lot of respect for people who are doing it because it's, you know, it takes a lot. You need to like come up to them and say, you know, I understand you have legitimate security concerns. You're afraid that this 5-year-old girl will grow up to be a terrorist, but maybe killing her is not the solution. And then like,
I don't know that. Yeah,
like,
that's not. I don't know if that's a
because this is the
legitimate
only way
security
you can
concern.
actually,
Like this
convince
person
somebody.
might grow up to
But I
hate
think
me and want to
maybe
kill
it
me. I don't know if that's.
maybe
I
it
don't know if I
won't go well
consider
for your
that like
son's
a
mental health to do that.
immediate
at 18.
security concern.
Yeah, I like it. I respect the fact that you have no interest in that kind of
No.
communication.
No, fuck
because
you.
just hearing you say it out loud, the amount
They're basically
of
telling me that I can either
having
get
to put your hand on
the
someone's shoulder and
blueprint.
just be like, "Hey, buddy, I know you're afraid, and I understand that you
Or
can like see a lot of
not
death
go to the curse
Palestinians."
biome. I'm
Kinda
taking
put
that one. I'm
away.
sorry. I
And
don't want to.
like,
I'm not
who
dealing with
wants
curses right now.
to-
Not doing it.
Who wants to have that
The curse
intro
biome is like
before
you take a hit, you die,
plea
right?
for
Like, how do they
Palestinian
work?
human rights?
Am I
It's-
wrong? Maybe
it's,
I'm gonna look it up. Maybe I will
I
do that.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. You're like, no, this is not about that. This is not about reaching an Israeli audience. This is about reaching an international audience.
I've been in
And
them
I
before.
appreciate
think
the
I forgot
opposite. I
mechanic,
appreciate
though.
the people who do go through that and who are happy
course.
to like who can mentally handle that kind of conversation. I cannot, so I feel like I have a different sort of mission, and I'm trying to reach a foreign audience to get pressure on all of this.
And you can see, you know, that
the Settlers,
playing
I've heard
that
about that. I
role,
was gonna
the
watch
other
that.
role wouldn't work because
I have
just
not
in the
yet.
conversations you're having with these IOF soldiers, you are immediately
I really don't want to deal with the
being
curse biome.
put
I'm
in a
gonna be
box
real.
of being an outsider just via the fact that you're Russian, you know.
That's
via
it.
The fact that
That's
you are
it.
Not,
That's the one. Maybe
quote,
maybe I'm
Israeli
fine with
to
it
them.
then.
Even when they
Especially
see
since I
your
have the
passport,
invisibility.
even when they
I'm gonna get
see
the
that you're
Libra.
an Israeli citizen,
If
they're
I
going to
die,
say,
it's
you're not really Israeli. You know,
because any Russian Israeli they've ever met is a complete right winger.
Right, exactly. So like so you being the person to try to appeal to, like, you know, the general Israeli audience, they'd write you off anyways. So I kind of, you know,
But let me ask you something about that, because one of the things I imagine, and I
I
don't
have
want
been
to,
using the shield more.
if you don't want to reveal this or speak to
now.
this, that's totally
I've been
fine.
trying to do shield runs
The
more.
people
I
I've
actually
spoken to
ran
in
like one
organizations that
run
stand
on like
together, one of the reasons they do
a
it,
lower
both
boss
Israeli
cell just
and
so I can
Palestinian
practice
citizens
parrying
of Israel,
things.
is because they're planning to
getting my
live
health
there for a long time. It's their society, for better or worse, and they're trying to improve that society, humanize it even by 1%. And you know, I spoke
my
to a
God.
Palestinian organizer who goes and talks to right-wing Israelis around class issues. Why? Because she, you know, like it or not, ideologically pure or not, that's the lived reality of her life.
Alright, I guess we're doing it.
For
Here we
you,
go.
being new there and having arrived there accidentally as opposed to ideologically or via an accident of birth, is there more of a sense that you're just dropping in and you could take it or leave it, or like, do you have a sense of, no, my calling is to be here and doing this work, or is it sort of neither of those?
Of course, it's easier for me than for people who grow up here. Of course, it's easier because, as I said, I don't have to burn down the bridges behind me because I don't have it. I don't have these bridges, it's definitely
I've been feeling a
something
little
that
bad
is-
because I've been seeing a
and
lot
that
of people
makes it
talking about
easier for
Sudan
me,
coverage,
and
I
also
haven't
like
seen,
I try
I just
to not
don't,
go
like,
to 48 all that much.
literally nothing
I
I
stay in the
follow
West Bank. The only Israelis
covers
I
anything
talk
in
to
that. I don't really
are
know what
activists,
sources
amazing,
cover
wonderful
it
people
either.
who are also working in the West Bank and in many different organizations. The rest is just settlers and soldiers that I run into, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah. Well, I love it.
I think it actually shows my bias.
I don't know
because
if this is any
for some
good.
reason, I assumed that
I
you're
don't really
based
care,
in
it's fine.
48, even though you spend a lot of time in, you know, it's like somehow in my mind, I can barely imagine
Sudan.
a Jewish
There's
citizen of Israel
like apparently a big there's
choosing
like a big
to base-
crisis.
Of course,
in
Amir
Sudan.
Haas has done it.
Right.
There is precedent.
Right, but your immediate assumption
My
was
immediate
that-
assumption was that, oh, you go back to Beersheba or Tel Aviv or West Jerusalem or something at least.
No, I'm fulfilling the mission of colonizing Yudav Shomron.
That's right. You're just doing it. You're doing it in your own way.
Yeah.
Well, it is really great. I mean, you know, if people aren't following you, they should. But we want to talk a little bit about what's going on also in the United States and our relationship with the wonderful best friend, wife even,
Sure,
state of
down
Israel.
for a second. I thought he was going to say we're going to talk about what's going on in
We
Sudan. I was like,
had,
what?
A video that we talked about last week with this person. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, Hillary Clinton. Have you heard of her?
I heard something.
That's the other thing I don't use a
Hillary
lot is range weapons.
Is a
Except for I do use the
famous,
She's our actual president.
She's our actual
Right,
president.
of course, since 2016.
That's
Yes,
right.
and
I've
forever.
been saying, not my president. I still with her through thick and thin. You know, it'd be
I screen
funny.
butter emails when I
I
orgasm.
don't really see a point to get this one because
I realize we need
I
to
feel like the
start
goal should be
making bumper
not to hit the
stickers
traps.
that say
So I,
still
like,
with
just
her,
don't
and
want
it's just
it.
in the shape of Israel.
I wouldn't want to bet on like hitting traps, you know?
'Cause that's the type of dead ender that exists, I feel like, now in the Israel space as well. But Hillary recently, you know, was interviewed for the magazine or newspaper Israel Hayom, which great newspaper. If you have a chance, Andre, to read.
Yeah, they wrote about me a couple of times.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure glowing reviews. Glowing reviews. And she went
Yeah, there's
on
a big crisis with
this
sedans
panel
right
to talk
now.
about how she was
They're getting
really
forced
just
out of the market
stunned
by big,
and
like,
saddened
small
by
trucks.
the fact that kids these days
They don't
are
have to
getting
follow
all of their
emission
news from
standards.
TikTok. You know, they're not getting it from the usual, you know, New York Times, you know, Israel Hayom. They're getting it from people like you, you know, Andre X, who's out here smearing Israel.
Okay, I'm just waiting.
She got a lot of pushback for
I'll pick
that,
one.
and she went back
Oh, I just got
on
this
the, you know, I guess her job is to speak to large groups of people.
Yeah.
And
Oh, this
I
seems
hate
really.
conference gigs.
Wait, is
Yeah,
this
and
broken or
embarrass
is it
herself.
just like a
Daniel, your brother
Whatever.
Aaron,
like a red hair?
caught
Like,
up
does it
with
actually is
her.
it
Was this
helpful at
in
all? Does it do
Doha?
anything?
Is in Doha, yeah. Aaron's there for the Doha
Full
conference.
plate.
and
It's
That
not,
seems
it's
like
not
it'd be useful
entirely
if you just
filled
got a
with-
shit
with
ton of money.
Foolish assholes. You know, Aaron's
No, yeah.
there. He watched a
Yeah, I thought
Palestine
that
soccer
too.
game, a football game with
working on
Francesca
that on my,
Albanese, who also spoke there.
oh yeah,
PS4
So
file.
you know, they it's a big tent.
it's a big tent over in Doha, and I just love your brother going up to her and
Yeah, this is his biggest sort of you know embarrassing a public figure since that was it Chris Coons on the Amtrak train.
Yes. So
Okay,
here
I don't know
is
if I'm
Aaron
ready for
Mate
this.
trying
Oh,
to
fuck, I hate the
speak to
curses.
Hillary Clinton.
My least favorite part about this whole game.
Hi, Secretary Clinton. Secretary Clinton, I can ask a question. I'm a journalist with the Gray Zone. Can I ask you? You said at
Yeah,
the Israel
exactly,
Hayom Summit that young people are brainwashed because of social media. What about young people who
I'm
just
thinking
don't
of
want
it,
to see
like, in
U.S.-made
Bellagio
bombs kill
terms.
Palestinians? Any message for them? No.
There are like
Okay.
Bellagio
No
builds
message
you
for
can
them,
do with
apparently.
like based on how much
Too
money.
bad.
She looks like
but
she's walking in clown shoes.
she looks like Pennywise. She did have something to say to the people to address those things that Aaron was talking to her about. And I'm going to play a little bit of that video because it just,
Wait,
the
oh, wait,
way
hold on.
in which this person seems.
I had an Aaron Mate video. I think it might be the one they're about to.
To live to double down is I mean it's truly commendable in a way.
Every time you see her speak, it just becomes more and more clear why she lost. She's the most unlikable politician in U.S. history, as far as I know. That's my estimate.
Yeah.
I saw
Andre,
that.
did
I saw it on the wall.
Did you vote for her in 2016?
I voted for every candidate, as always. I write in everybody.
That was your job as a
wanted
Russian.
to have fun. Look, exactly. Like
As a Russian,
Oh my God, stop,
you were
stop,
pulling the
stop. What are you
strings of our
doing?
democracy.
That's right. That's right. I heard you were doing that. Okay, here is Hillary Clinton speaking at.
And so I've
Okay, the
had
invisibility is kind of broken. Like if
many,
you
many
don't
conversations
really care about
with
getting
very
cells,
smart
cells.
young people.
I said
In
cells.
talking with them
If you don't
about
really care
their
about getting cells
views,
that much.
they were certainly entitled to those views based on whatever information they had. But they did not always know why they were saying what they said. You know, when they say from the river to the sea, and you say what river and what
And then
sea
you can
they
just
don't
check
know,
right at
which
the
has
end,
personally happened
when you
in
get Explorers
conversations that I've
Instinct,
had.
if any of them have a scroll.
I'm sorry.
Which have
first of all,
definitely happened.
I'm sorry. First and
It'll
foremost,
trigger it, right? It'll show, like, a
0%
star by
chance. 0% chance that she has
Here, I'm gonna grab
been
a soda.
in a conversation with multiple students individually where she started quizzing them on, do you know what river and what sea?
Really? Oh, that's good
She
to
makes
know.
this claim based on the fact
Yeah,
that she
that would make
teaches a
sense.
class at Columbia in which she, I
'Cause
assume,
that's basically, like, one of
talks
the- that's
to
basically-
a few hundred people
I
all
would
at
say,
once.
like, above all
The
other
idea that
mechanics, that's
she's
probably the
going to
most
have
frustrating
office
one that
hours
enemies have.
where she's like, yeah, come to my office and we'll discuss Israel-Palestine. 0% chance. It is 100% her getting that from watching a social media video in which a Hezbollahist did that at an encampment. I guarantee that. So I just had to point that out.
there is beauty in her raging about this. There's and the Israeli state raging about this, because this is just demonstrates the impending democratization of media, the ongoing democratization of media, which has its horrible side, but it also has the wonderful side about the fact that like they can do nothing about it. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journals of our world cannot deal. They can write as many articles as they want. They can throw as much money as they want on this. But now anybody can pick up a camera and film what's happening and it's uploaded.
Yeah, it is.
Oh no!
truly,
Wait, they're the ones that curse you, right?
You know, I see it.
Can I kill it before it does it?
As for the tech companies, an unfortunate side effect of their technology, which is that they have not yet been able to stop people completely from posting the things they are seeing that are happening to them, that they are taping with their own phone. And it is the silver lining in all this is watching this struggle against this. You know, what she is lamenting here is not being able to have the narrative control.
I don't really want to circle back for them, but I don't want
not just what's going on in the Middle East, but
you know,
her own Clinton legacy.
I'll keep them, whatever.
Like,
but also,
you know, she was living in a time at one point in which it was like, you know, Hillary Clinton was either a good Secretary of Defense, if you were reading, you know, the New York Times, or if you were reading any like liberal.
The bell guy stuns you. I thought they were the ones that cursed you.
Secretary of Defense, if you were reading the Wall Street Journal or whatever conservative rag.
Okay.
Now she is faced with what the rest of us think about Hillary Clinton, and she's realizing, oh, the only allies I ever actually had are people who were essentially paid by the party that I am the head of.
What do you mean, like small, like just
nice
any small enemy?
It's true. She's only relevant to people who despise her.
Yes, yes.
That's the only relevance she has now. Super villain, super predator.
Yeah, she's become the very thing that she warned against.
That's exactly right.
The super predator.
And wasn't the prompt for that question the interviewer patiently trying to explain to her why people took offense to her comments at the Israel Hayom conference?
I don't like the looks of this.
So there's just, you see, not a shred of humility or self-awareness.
I have some more of that from that point.
Grapple with history, but what I can speak to is they're grappling with the here and now. And I think there's a genuine anger in the United States and around the world that some of that anger is deflected.
But Robbie, I'm angry about all of the human rights abuses.
Deflector shields up.
All of the excessive use of force. I'm angry about, you know, what happened on October 7th in Israel and what happened in Gaza. I'm angry about what Russia's doing in Ukraine. I'm angry about Sudan. I'm angry about the Eastern Congo. I mean, of course, the suffering in Gaza is horrific.
I love it. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. I like it like that.
That's what the money is for.
That's what the money is for.
You think we're investing in some bargain basement food stamp suffering? You think we're going to go for Kirkland brand suffering? No, this is top shelf shit.
We're spending billions for name brand suffering.
Jules, I know my suffering is top notch. You know why? Because I pay for the good shit. Okay. We buy the good shit, okay? So I don't need you to fucking tell me that the suffering I inflict is good. I know it fucking is.
It's Pulp Fiction. It's Pulp Fiction. I know it.
I think this is the only good thing that Donald Trump did, is that like his coming to power destroyed this this genre of saying nothing while like trying to appeal to everybody.
I saw that you
like,
can
of course,
toggle
I care about the suffering.
like the lore.
Like, so
I like
what?
it,
What are you doing about it?
I also probably
and it's,
haven't
like,
replayed it
it's
as
so
many times as you
all
have.
of this nonsense that actually represents and communicates nothing.
Yeah. Well, I wish it had
it's
destroyed
the
it.
bygone era.
I wish it had destroyed it, but it didn't destroy it quite,
Hasn't
which
it?
is why. Well, I think now Biden's term has completely destroyed it. You know what I'm saying? It had a comeback with Karine Jean-Pierre and Anthony Blinken and all this. Like it like in the horror movie, it reached up out of the bathtub and whatever, had a last gasp, and now I think it's dead.
Yeah, I mean that I do actually I agree with that as well. It's like this has been
no.
one thing
It's
that
okay.
I think
There's meat. I have
we
meat.
can take as a silver lining is the fact that Hillary Clinton and just this type of politics has lost all credibility.
I had just
It's
gone too
completely
long
not
without
respected,
killing anything, and
it
I paid the price.
It only gets more and more disrespected as more and more people get to see people like Hillary Clinton or her husband Bill talking about Judea and Samaria in front of a group of voters in Dearborn, Michigan. Like, the fact that these people are so far out of touch and saying absolutely nothing, people can't help but look at that and, you know, put it against the stuff that they're seeing with their own eyes on social media, like, you know, your content or the content of anybody in Gaza who is taping.
Oh wait, no, I didn't buy the other one
just
either.
the absolute, like, disgusting, you know.
I mean, I did buy the ice one,
genocide.
but
You know,
the other one earlier.
they're taping it and they're showing it to everyone. And how are you going to look at either of these politicians and take them seriously?
And I think she's in this spot where even the supporters of the ideology, I have no idea where Dearborn, Michigan is, but like I doubt that even the people who are supportive of Israel find this compelling. I feel like this is so wooden and unrepresentative of anything that it's like...
It's obsolete. It's useless. It's, yeah. And
at best, it's an anesthetic for the supporters of Israel. Like, they would show up dead-eyed and dead-faced to
get
this.
the other one too.
It's like an
Like,
IV.
I don't know.
Just give me something.
Not-
Just give me, and it doesn't hit the way it used to, but it might get them through the
Oh my
next
God.
few weeks to hear Hillary drawn out of it. Dearborn, Michigan, by the way, has a massive Arab and Palestinian population.
Right. So it was even
I don't know how those
going in
guys
the-
work.
the
Like, I see them
absolute
slice, but they
level
don't
of
seem to follow
contempt
you or
on
anything, and
ascension
then they
of
like
these
kind of
two
disappear. Like, I don't get how they. I don't get how they
zombie
work at all.
desiccated monsters, you know, unleashed on people during the last election cycle, trying to stump for an even more desiccated movie monster in Biden was something to behold. I love the way the guy's question ends with, he's trying to plead with her better nature to be like, Hillary, can't you understand that there's anger, and a lot of young people feel like their anger is being deflected? And she's like, well, let me just deflect that.
Yeah, well, everyone's anger is being deflected.
I'm angry about a lot of things.
Yeah. Just to finish off what she's saying.
Everywhere is horrific. So let's look at what we can do to try to resolve
Everywhere is
what
horrific?
is being done
I don't know if
to
I agree with
people in so many different settings right now. And I think that the emphasis on one terrible conflict sort of doesn't do justice to the challenges
Get
that we are
Justice's
confronting.
name out your fucking mouth.
It is just
Don't
so-
you fucking say that word.
She, you know, like...
Sorry for
she-
yelling at him.
She literally said nothing there, and it's an impressive.
I guess if I
amount
were
of
a real
nothing,
one, I could have tried to
for
parry
such
my
a
health back.
Hearty word salad, and I want to
iceberg lettuce and then fucking word salad.
Yeah.
Why, Matt? Don't you think that we should think about how we can do things in order to resolve the things that are happening to people in different situations?
You know what? I've never
Do you
been.
disagree?
I've
Oh,
never been
okay.
against
Okay.
doing things to resolve the
Like they move higher up or
crises that are
something, or
happening
just-
to
or
everybody,
they can do it
everywhere,
either way,
all
I
at
guess.
once.
Especially
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it's doing things to resolve the crises
Mhm.
that we are causing.
Yeah, well, I think that if you're thinking about the crises we are causing,
No, we shouldn't.
Isn't it fair to think about the crises that everyone is causing everywhere?
That's right.
And then we can get
it's
a
actually
full
a kind of
understanding.
yeah, it's a kind of obscene self-obsession to only focus on the murders I'm doing.
That's right.
It's a kind of self-absorption.
Yes, it's narcissistic.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's malignant, toxic narcissism.
Don't you guys ever think of somebody other than myself? So, you know, speaking of her thinking about herself, one of the things that she talked about in the previous video was
Which
essentially
we
about
played on the Troy Bond episode
Yes,
this past
which-
weekend.
Yes.
You can get if you're a Patreon member.
Look at that. You look at you selling things.
How to tell them where to find it, man.
Patreon.com. Bar. In that video, she is, you know, lauding the legacy. She says the kids these days don't know the legacy of the peace deals.
Oh,
that
Hillary
were
Clinton,
thrown
yeah,
away
original
by
girl
the,
boss, but in a bad way.
Palestinians. The peace deals that, you know, her husband, President Bill Clinton, himself worked so hard to do. At this,
These Zoomers have unfortunately never studied the opportunities that Palestinians never missed to miss opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. And she
Unless you're already
mentions
accustomed to
these.
using the girl boss
None of
in a
them
bad way.
have Abba Eben
Which case it was assumed. I guess.
That's right.
and Huggy Pillow.
God damn it. He got me. He got me.
But yeah, she talks about that in
Oh,
that video,
no, I'm
and I
fucked
wanted
now.
to play from this conference
Thank
in
God.
Doha.
It's over.
She had, or not she, the conference
Okay.
also had this guy Robert Malley on, who was a special assistant to Bill Clinton. Went on to serve in the Obama administration
fucking
as
hell?
a lead negotiator on the Iran nuclear
It's been
deal,
going
which is
so
the,
smoothly,
like,
and then they just trip
the
me up
good foreign
twice.
policy that came out of the Obama administration. And he went
So
on
where did it go? So does
to talk
give an
about
indicator of where it
these
moves,
Camp
or
David
you just-
negotiations and kind of compared them to the previous negotiations that what's his name, Jimmy Carter had done, and
not just skipping over Oslo, of course, because
Oh, I love the
oh,
nail.
yeah. Specifically,
the less said about Oslo, the better.
Yes, but Camp David 1 versus Camp David 2, which is
Exactly.
important in the context of what exactly Hillary is trying to claim.
And
is
I
the
don't
short
know.
victory.
I don't think we know whether or not he was specifically refuting Hillary, or if someone asked him about her. I don't think.
See,
so.
I had
No,
just
he
been
wasn't. He
assuming they were
happened to be
different-
on the same
different enemies
stage
every single
at a
time.
different time.
Yeah.
And he happened to talk about one of her talking points and completely contradicts it.
Yes, and I have a video of that. Here it is.
Camp David 1 to Camp
Fuck my
David
health.
2. So President Carter at Camp David 1, the Americans came with a paper to negotiate between the Israelis and the Egyptians and went back and forth, but the Americans kept the pen. Camp David 2 is different. But what happened there basically was, after a first futile effort to put a paper on the table, which was rejected by Prime Minister Barak, I think at that point it became a free-for-all, where the Americans ended up taking Israeli ideas, presenting them to the Palestinians. The Palestinians rejected them. They went back to the Israelis. They asked for more ideas. And the U.S. became reduced almost to the role of messenger, which is why we say it wasn't really a negotiation. It was a negotiation within the Israeli team. It was a negotiation within the American team, but it wasn't a negotiation between Israelis and Palestinians. It was presentation of constantly changing proposals based on Israel's estimate of what the Palestinians couldn't say no to, an estimate that proved wrong time and time.
Tempting.
So
I love the image of
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna take it for
America
sure.
just handing Israel their pen and never asking for it back, or Israel never giving it back. It's like that
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall skit. My pen.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting,
Sorry, you served me
to
well.
see that
Bye.
perspective, especially given the way in which the Clintons talk about their legacy of almost bringing peace to the Middle East if it weren't for them damn
Oh, wait, does it
Palestinians.
The
vary
most
depending on
generous
the biome?
offer in history.
Yes, we're so generous to them, and they rejected our peace proposals every time. Andre, can you do a good Israeli accent? And how does mine sound?
Yours sounds good. I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't dare.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I wasn't there to compete, man.
Yeah, how dare you? Yeah, I just love that. I love that, this flies directly in the face of
Oh,
a
hell
fool
yeah.
like Hillary Clinton.
Oh wait,
trying
are they the little
to,
curse guys?
say,
Is
hey,
that what
the
you're
kids
talking
these
about?
days, they don't know about the official narrative
It is. That's what you're
of
talking
the Camp
about. Okay.
David peace process.
On the
and-
same stage at the same event.
Which is one of these fascinatingly
I
recurring
understand
historical
now.
motifs where election propaganda makes its way through history to the point where, like,
Am I
it doesn't
right?
matter
It was a
anymore.
little
Because
the guy
this
with the little
myth
beak,
that the
little, like,
Palestinians
plague
torpedoed the
doctor looking guy.
negotiations, it was created by Ehud Barak in order to get reelected, and he asked Clinton to say that it was the Palestinians who torpedoed it. And then he lost the election anyway, but the myth stuck, and now we're living with this myth that the Palestinians torpedoed the negotiations.
Yeah,
That's so interesting.
It is, and people forget that. I mean, because people
Russiagate would be another
can
example,
curse me.
in a way.
I'm scared of that.
Sure.
It was used post-election by the Democrats to explain why they lost, and then it became an entire way of
Oh my
thinking
God.
and looking at the world on the part
Right.
of Democrats who
close.
now will use that to explain all kinds of things, including why kids are
Another
seeing
fragment, I
videos
forgot.
of Gaza.
Right. Yeah. And you know, what's interesting is like, because the Clintons did get something out of Ehud Barak's little, you know, narrative spin, and it's just so funny because like you know, Ehud Barak, you know, now can just lick his wounds with that. Although, you know, now he's
Yeah,
now,
it seems like if
who
you were in
knows
like a big,
what else he's
like if
gonna
you're
be
trying to do
licking
like
in
a big crowd of
prison.
enemies and you got
He's going to
cursed and then
prison?
just happened
Probably,
to take
right?
a hit, you could just die like right there.
Because of the Epstein stuff, you know. But
like it just happened to be in the crowd,
no, but you know,
and then cursed
Hillary
you and then you get hit
Bill
like right after.
are
Yeah.
they get to
I can
live
see
on
that
that
happen.
being the official narrative. They get to just be like, you don't understand how hard we tried to do peace. And when the
They are the mad rappers of American politics.
Sure.
We got John Blaze shit. We got John Blaze shit. They aren't all that. Never mind.
No, I get it. But now you guys
there we
need
go.
to get something else, and it's ads. So everyone, please stick around, listen to these ads. Again, if it's for ICE, sorry, we are trying to get rid of these fucking ICE ads. But stick around, don't join ICE, and we'll be right back. And we're
Maybe I'll
back
take
as
on
bad
the
as
I'll try it. I'll
the
try it.
world's
I'll do it.
most moral podcast.
Why not?
You know, ever since we played that video of
This is so
Andre
stupid. Don't do it.
in Bethlehem,
No, stop. Go. Keep going. No.
once Pluribus runs its course,
I chickened out.
which so far I'm not quite sold on, but I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. I have an idea for Vince Gilligan's next show. I think he needs to get back to the basics, get back to what he's really good at. Do a show called Methland.
I do need to get a amulet
which is
that
about
does
a
minus
humble
10%. though. I'm still
Palestinian
on.
chemistry teacher
Yes.
who, in order to feed his family, needs to start cooking crystal for Israeli soldiers at checkpoints who are, you know, fatigued and need to stay up all night, torturing detainees. So it's a big moral conundrum for him, but he really gets into it. And by the end of the show, he's the Israeli minister of security.
I am the one who roof knocks.
I am the one who knocks.
Oh my god.
Fuck, that's better. That's a better pun. Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Okay, I feel like I'm doing pretty well
Yeah,
on
listen, it's a collaborative
image at
effort.
this point.
Andre, we're going to move on to talk about this next subject matter. Have you heard of a guy named Benjamin Netanyahu?
No, who's that?
We're really busting out the obscure characters in this episode.
Yeah, this is a very obscure guy. So he
Oh,
is
no, wait,
a
hold
dude from Philadelphia, born and raised on a playground where he spent most of his days. That is a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reference. Thank you very much. He is the embattled prime minister of the fake state of Israel. And he put out a video recently in English, which is, that's how you know it's going to be exciting
really?
stuff. In which
Just
he
because
is
I
directly
use
addressing
Opera for a lot of stuff,
Israel's
and I can just turn on a VPN if I need to
yeah,
do it.
Yes, the
or anything.
Israel constituency, which is the United States of America.
I don't know how it's gonna work
and
when
he's
like
directly addressing his trial.
COSA and stuff passes. Like if it
and
passes,
Which
I
we
mean it
haven't
passed,
talked
right?
about
Like,
much
when
on the
it's implemented.
podcast, mainly because who
Yeah.
gives a fuck? Like
Right.
it's been used as so much of a decoy,
Mhm.
and it's a way that liberal Zionists convince themselves that they're anti-Netanyahu because they went to some corruption protests and whatever, and it's so like,
Right.
you know,
It reminds
and
me of
yet-
like during the war in Iraq, like the Santa Cruz City Council officially
All right,
called
let's do
for the
it.
impeachment of the president, and I was just like, listen, I get we're all having fun here, but what is the City Council of Santa
what's that
Cruz,
say?
California, gonna do to get the ball rolling on the impeachment? It just
worse
feels
than that.
Yeah.
In the first Trump administration,
Yeah.
Democrats turned out in massive numbers to like the biggest anti-Trump protest was a march against the firing of Jeff Sessions as Attorney General.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
What is that? Is
Yeah.
that a key?
So
I need that. I
yeah,
need that.
we haven't covered this much. Andre, what do you know about this corruption trial? What's the word on the street in the West Bank?
Look,
Oh, hello.
there is this impression that is sometimes given that, oh, Netanyahu is waging everything that he's waging in bombing different countries and continuing the genocide in Gaza in order to save his ass, which is not true, because it's done with the support of the entire Israeli apparatus, who are not on trial for corruption and who are happily supporting the genocide and supporting the ethnic cleansing of the West Bank. But this is a case that has been drawn, that has been dragging on for many years now, and he is using every opportunity possible in order to cancel court sessions in order to slow it down even more.
What is your impression of Israeli society in terms of their actual fatigue of Netanyahu?
I thought you were asking him for his impression.
Yeah.
Like a comics, Can you impersonate Israeli society?
Here's my
I think the irony is that children are probably going to be like among the more adept at finding ways to get around stuff like this.
A little bit of column
and taking
A, a
advantage
little
like
bit
new
of
ways.
column B.
Too.
I guess area A and area B. No, what is it? Do you the way that this
Sorry, I was done with this anyway.
trial and this storyline is played in the United States, very specifically in liberal Zionist circles, is that, like you said, everything that he is doing is.
Oh, there it is.
Hillary Clinton is doubling down on her statement that young people are misinformed by the news on social media at the recent Doha Forum. And this is not a good look for Hillary Clinton. It's also not a good look for the Democratic Party. And I think people need to pay attention to what is going on here. I would say the reporter tried to give her a bone, tried his best to get her to admit that her statement was incorrect, right? That she was wrong. But no, she persists to double down here, folks. You got to see this for yourself. Also at this same event, journalist Aaron Mate from the Gray Zone confronted Hillary Clinton. You guys have got to see this. Let's go ahead and bring it in here.
Well, I'm just gonna go on.
Shout out to Dropside News. Hillary Clinton doubled down at the Doha Forum on remarks she made last week at the Israel Hayom Summit, where she claimed that young people who were pro-Palestinian have been propagandized and misinformed by social media. Moments ago, she said young people are getting an incomplete picture of the conflict. So let's go ahead and get into this video.
It's like
here,
when
folks.
a company
like I said,
asks
the
you
reporter
not to
really
track them. Like when you
tried
ask
his
a company
best,
not to
I
track
think,
them,
to give her a bone.
you know
Not
that
a
they're
good
still
look for
tracking
Hillary
you,
Clinton.
and
Listen
they
to
know that
this.
too. That's why they
I want
say.
to talk
That's
about
why they
you
don't say
now.
don't track. They just
You've
say
been in the
ask
news
not
this
to
past
track.
week.
They're just like,
for
yeah,
some
we hear you.
comments you
Okay.
made at an event
Oh,
in
you don't
New
want us to
York,
do it? Okay.
organized by
We're still
the
gonna do it.
newspaper Israel
But we hear that you
Hayom.
asked us
And
not
I'm going
to.
to paraphrase here, but you said that smart, well-educated young Americans are getting their news from social media,
Oh, really?
from TikTok, and you went on
You
to
ring them in
say
an
that
order and get,
this is how they're
like,
learning
that
about
key
what
or
happened on
multiple
October
keys or what?
7th,
I don't get it.
and then what happened in Gaza in the months that followed. And it
I'm
appears
just
that
gonna move on
this
now,
was a
though.
broader lament on your part about declining support among Americans for Israel. That comment has generated a lot of controversy, and it's led
Oh,
Congressman Ro
hi,
Khanna,
okay.
for example, to point out that I don't think the answer is
Carol
to
of the Bells.
disparage
Oh,
the
God,
intelligence of young
I was,
people.
I
It's
played
been a
games.
few
I was
days now
practicing it.
since
I
you
didn't
said
mean to
that.
make that.
How are
was so
you
corny.
reflecting on your words and the controversy around it?
Yeah, that's a good point to mention. Ro Khanna did say that. So like she has members of her own party that called her out for her statements there.
Well, I think it is a provable fact
I was
that
pretty
most
far now on my
Americans
PS4
and
file. I
an
spent, like,
even
most of my
bigger
cells-
percentage of young
cells?
Americans get their news
Cells?
from social media.
On those.
If that is controversial,
Sorry, I'm trying
then
to get
people
back
are
to
not
that
paying
point
attention
on the,
to how
Is that a
like
bad
the
thing?
initial upgrades.
I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I
this
think
any
it's
good?
an
I'm just
incomplete.
Well, let me rephrase this.
They should be listening to you,
if-
Robbie. I mean, obviously.
People do listen to me for what it's worth, and I am also on Instagram and TikTok.
I kind of want to get some of
Ooh,
these to
slow
encourage me to use some
burn.
ranged weapons
That's a
more,
brutal one,
too.
right? So here's the problem with people like Hillary Clinton. They are stuck in the past. They are stuck in the past. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of voters, especially younger people, are not
Punishment shield.
prescribing to
Okay.
this
Okay,
old
okay, I see.
style of politic that Hillary Clinton, people like her,
Just like a
Nikki
blueprint for
Haley, George W. Bush, Mike Huckabee, they are not prescribing to that neocon style of politics. A lot of voters today, especially younger voters, are anti-war. They're tired of these wars. And Hillary Clinton herself seems to have forgotten that Barack Obama ran on an anti-war message when he ran for president. Barack Obama said we need to end the wars in the Middle East. Now, obviously, he didn't stick to that because he went on to kill people in Libya. But she should know this,
I mean, he
right?
killed
Like, it's
people all over the
common
place.
sense that people are moving away
killed people in
from
the
those
Middle
types
East, all over the
of
place, too.
that type of energy that I think
Hindu's
both
hospital.
parties have become accustomed to over the years. So the problem with people like Hillary Clinton is that she doesn't step outside her bubble to see that, yes, more people are engaged in news on social media, but also reporters like the one who is interviewing her here is also doing news on social media. That's what happens when you don't step outside of your bubble and you're stuck in the past. And that's what it is. Hillary Clinton,
I'll take it.
Nikki
Fine.
Haley, these neocons, they are stuck in the past. Let's go on more here.
But I guess the broader point here is that if Americans
Oh, I
are
probably should have
shifting
picked
in
up-
their
no,
views
never mind.
about Israel, and poll after poll shows that that is the case, that is based on some information that they're getting not just from social media, but also from very reputable journalists operating in the region, also Palestinian journalists in Gaza.
Moving on.
Why is that not accurate?
Oh, damn.
I'm not saying it's not accurate. I am saying that
didn't think I would get one until
I
after
teach
the
at
boss.
Columbia University.
Pause. No, she was saying it wasn't accurate.
Should I use
that
it? I guess,
statement
yeah.
that
Okay, I'll
she
do it.
made at that summit,
Yep.
hosted by Miriam Adelson, that statement, what she was saying is that the information that they're receiving on social media, that it's incorrect information. That is exactly what she was saying. Hillary Clinton is making herself look even worse. And I think what is going to happen ultimately, I think a lot of people are moving away from people like her. I think a lot of voters, they're moving away from the Hillary Clintons, like the Bill Clintons,
Moving.
even Barack Obama.
They're
People, they're
moving
moving away
away
from,
from Hillary
People
Clinton.
are looking at the
No,
future.
they moved away from Hillary Clinton in
These young people are looking at
2016.
their future. And when they look at their future, they see a future that is grim because they see that they can't afford to put a down payment on a home. They see that
They
they can't
moved
afford
away
to
from
start
Hillary
families.
Clinton
And they
years
see
ago.
that the US government is spending all this money creating chaos and war abroad. That's what they see. Yeah, she teaches at Columbia University. And how did you get that gig, Hillary? We all know Columbia
There is
University
like that
is a
class.
Zionist
There is
institution.
the like
How'd you
like
get
the
that
I've
gig?
Had It podcast ladies.
Because you went
who are, like,
along with the
they
status
like
quo.
just like in
You
the
went
last couple
along
years, they're
with
like, oh my god,
the
I now see I
propaganda.
should never have supported
You went
Hillary
along with the
Clinton. So I
pro-Israel
get-
propaganda.
That person's
That's
out
how
there
you
for
get
sure.
your career. You spoke at AIPAC conventions.
Yes,
you
I
chose
did.
to
That's
still
it's
support
insane.
this
And
genocidal state that is Israel, and
you can
those
see Trump
atrocities
saying,
did not
and he
start
said in like
after October
2023,
7th. They've been going on for decades.
in like June 2023, he said.
So that's how you got that seat. That's why you're there.
When I
'Cause
left,
you
Venezuela was about to
toted the line.
collapse, and we were gonna go in there and we were gonna take it
Ay,
over,
ay,
and we
ay.
would have had
And
all that oil.
I
He
teach
said
a
that
course called
literally
Inside
one of
the
his rallies in
Situation Room,
2023
and
because he
so
started those like you remember he started
It's a
his
very
like
large
insane rallies
course.
like a year
I co-teach
before
it with
the
the dean
election.
of the School of International
Like
Public
abnormally
Affairs.
long before,
And
like
so
before
I've had
any other usually in the
many,
election cycle,
many
people do rallies
conversations
like
with
that.
very smart young people.
But he said
not
that, yeah,
just
he was like, yeah, we're gonna take
Americans,
all their
but
oil.
literally from around
Or we
the
would have
world.
taken all the
It's
oil
worth pointing
like,
out that
when he
Columbia,
left
of course,
office.
has been
They were
a
about to collapse, and we were
center
gonna go in
of
there and
some
take it all.
protest
If he had only
And
had
it
his
was,
second
and,
term.
and I
And so it
talked
just
to
kind of
students there,
shows
I
that all
talked
the
to students
narco-terrorism
elsewhere,
bullshit was like,
and
it was bullshit.
in
It was
talking
literally
with
just
them
bullshit. They're like,
about
yeah,
their
yeah, whatever,
views,
they're narco,
they
whatever.
were
they're
certainly
terrorists.
entitled
Take
to
the
those
last thing
views
from
based
the
on
last
whatever information
big
they had.
war.
But they
Big
did
reason
not
for a war to go
always
get
know
oil. Take that,
why
like
they
the
were saying
terrorist
what
part
they
of
said.
that,
And
and
all
then just
I'm
put
asking
narco in
for
it because
is
of
that
like the drug
people
trade,
have
and then
a
there we go. And now
historical
let's go get the oil.
context, both for
Pause. Let's get into the historical context. So
Yeah.
that has not been my experience because I worked at the university system for over 10 years, right here in the Boston area, in Boston and in Cambridge. I worked at MIT. I worked at Harvard, attempted Harvard. I worked at Northeastern University. I worked at Boston University. And let me tell you what I found. I found that those students not only understood the historical context, which is that Israel is an illegal occupation.
Now,
They
if I say
understood
scum,
that
I'm gonna
the
have to wait for
Zionist
that to
movement came in and pushed the
restart every time.
Palestinian
Fuck,
people
okay.
off of their land. They are very much aware of
I say
what
if.
took
It's
place.
gonna be a win here,
And
just
that
to be
wasn't
clear.
taught to them at the
I'm a
university.
little out
That
of
was
it right
based
now.
on research of their own. So they are aware.
I'm, like, trying to
So
listen
from
to
my
her, too.
experience, I never got that impression that they didn't really understand why they were saying what they were saying, right? A lot of the people who were protesting were college students, right? And Hillary Clinton should know about this because
having,
she
like,
at one
a
point in
mental,
time
like,
was a
fog
protester
sort of
as a
thing.
college
Like, how did I
student.
dodge?
She's
Okay,
another
wait, no, I
example
remember.
as someone
I remember.
who was an activist back in college that the establishment got their hands on and said, we're
I'm
going
trying to
put you
parry.
in
This is part of the
politics
problem. if
and
you're
all of that
wondering why
jazz.
I'm
So
freaking out so much.
one of those people,
I'm trying
just
to parry
like
a lot
Van
of the
Jones,
things.
right? Just like Barack Obama. Like,
Can you parry that?
these were people that were protesting and were active in college, and then later on went into politics and went along with the very
You can't parry
establishment
that.
they were
Fuck, it's
protesting
fine, don't
against
worry.
when they
Not
were
mine.
students, because they wanted to get paid and they wanted power. So what if people go back and they say, Hillary, when you were protesting for women's
Yeah, I
rights,
fucked
when
it
you
up.
were in
Don't worry, I'm
college,
safe swimming anyway.
you
This is-
weren't
this is a
always
test run.
informed. So think about those things.
what has happened to
My
the
other
Palestinians
boss, so
and
Red,
what
I
has
think I
happened to
fought
the
a
Israelis, because
scarecrow.
we
I
are
didn't fight
not
this boss
going
or
to
whatever.
implement
It
the
is something else.
20-point peace plan or any other peace plan unless people come with some sense of historical perspective and empathy about how we're going to move people toward what I still believe is the only realistic outcome, a two-state solution.
You cannot have that type of
Damn it.
outcome with an occupying power, right? We are not moving towards a two-state solution because the Israeli government doesn't want the Palestinian people to have their own state. Hillary Clinton knows this. I've played videos on this channel years ago when she was Secretary of State having those same conversations with Benjamin Netanyahu back then.
All
So
of them.
she's gaslighting the viewers. Everybody who was there
Oh,
at that
yeah,
event,
no,
she
please
is
don't.
gaslighting
Yes.
them. So
I
that
hope
that is
so.
not what is happening here.
You can parry all of them. Parry all.
First thing to write down. Second thing here to write down. An
Parry is one of those words that I
occupying
learned
power
through
does not
text
have
video
the right to
games
defend itself.
in like 2001.
That's international law. So the
And
whole
I
idea
always
that
pronounced it
Israel even
parry.
has an
And then
iron
I was
dome
wrong.
and
I
what they're
still do
doing
it
to the
sometimes.
Palestinian people is against international law. If people look this up, they will see this for themselves. So they're an
Oh, I
occupying
didn't hear
power.
that. Did she say that?
How can you have peace with an occupying power? How can you have empathy for the Israelis in Israel when they are the ones who are occupying the Palestinian people? What empathy are you talking about? Israel has control of the land, the air, the water. The Palestinian people don't have control. So
I feel like
until you
all
get
these
to
people,
that
like,
point,
I don't
which
think it
you
would actually
won't,
do anything.
until you get to that point where you call out the
But, like,
fact
Hillary
that the
Clinton, Sarah
occupying
Hurwitz,
power
Barry
is
Weiss even,
wrong.
Like, you take them.
This
They
whole
should
conversation
watch.
that
They
she's
should
having here is
get the brain
pointless.
smashing, the barrage
And the reason
of like
why she
people
does not
carrying
point
their
the finger
children's
at
limbs
Israel
and
is
shit.
because
They
she
should have
sold
to
out a
watch
long
that
time
shit.
ago.
Like, make them watch it
She
and
sold
see
out
if
to
they
AIPAC,
still
to
think that
other
they're just
Israeli
being
lobby
brainwashed.
groups. She is
But
one
for
of
Hillary
their
Clinton in
puppets.
particular, I feel like she would
So
watch
she's
that and
not
be like,
going
yeah,
to
okay.
call them out, and that what
give a
they're
shit.
doing is wrong. That occupying people is wrong, and they've been able to get away with this for a long time. Politicians in this country have been able to convince people and get away with this for a long, long time that we need to support and back Israel. And it was October 7th that really woke people up to what was really going on. I
Yeah,
met
exactly.
people who didn't even
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
Gaza was. until after.
That's why Bill had to look elsewhere. He's like, oh, she
this
only wants to
style
get
of
off to
politic that
watching
Hillary
videos
Clinton
of people being
and
killed.
the like are used to is dying. And they find themselves in this sort of struggle to figure out, well, what do we do now? What do we do with this? Now, she goes on to talk about human rights abuses, and that's the hilarious part. Listen to this.
And we're not going to get there if people, you know, when they say from the river to the sea, and you say what river and what sea, and they don't know, which has personally happened in conversations that I've had. I just, you know, but this is a larger issue because.
Now she's trying to say the reason why you're not going to get to a two-state solution is because some people don't know what river they're talking about, or because of the rhetoric that has been said. She is totally lying here. The reason why you're not going to get there is because the Israeli government does not want the Palestinian people to have their own state.
Because even on other matters in this class that I teach, we are not doing a good job teaching history. We're not giving young people the kind of context that I think they need to be decision makers.
So now she's saying that the history classes are to blame. It's interesting because when I was in school, I didn't learn anything about the Palestinian people. We learned a lot about Israel, but I didn't learn anything about the Palestinian people. They damn sure didn't teach us that they were occupying them.
Yeah.
They didn't teach us about the
I don't think I
annexations that are happening or the land theft and, you know, the homes that are being stolen in the West Bank. We didn't learn about that in history class. So if history needs to be taught differently, it is in that respect that people need to be taught about the Palestinian people and what happened to them. That's what needs to be taught. She's struggling here, and it's very obvious.
All due respect, and I can't gauge how well young people grapple with history.
Oh, no.
What I can speak to is they're grappling with the here and now.
Oh,
and
thank God.
they are witnessing images that are live streamed, that are coming out every day.
Wait, what?
You know, and yes, there is misinformation and disinformation, but a lot of it is real. And I think there's a genuine anger in the United States and around the world that some of that anger is deflected.
But Robbie, I'm angry about all of the human rights abuses. I'm angry about all of the excessive use of force. I'm angry about, you know, what happened on October 7th in Israel and what happened in Gaza. I'm angry about what Russia's doing in Ukraine. I'm angry about Sudan. I'm angry about the Eastern Congo. I mean, I think we should be all looking at the tragedies and the conflicts that are bringing about so much suffering.
And who's behind all of that, Hillary? Who's behind all of that suffering that you're talking about? Because I brought on an expert talking about Sudan, and he made it very clear that that has to do with Israel too. Because Israel wants land there. So who's behind all that? Because I would say the U.S. government and the policies that people like Hillary Clinton have supported have caused a lot of that suffering that is happening across the world. The U.S. government has, I would say, just committed atrocities across the world. Imperialism, overthrowing leaders. Who's behind those human rights abuses that she's referring to? All these different coups.
I'll take the cluster.
I mean, there was the coup in 2014.
Oh wait,
she's talking about Russia and Ukraine. Let's talk about who was behind that.
Oh,
the U.S. government and NATO.
They're planning to take.
So,
are you talking about like trying to like go into
you're
like
not
Lebanon
serious
and like keep expanding?
If you're saying that you're against these human
further,
atrocities that are happening across the world and all this suffering,
why they attacked Lebanon.
Back the government
they
and
like
the
literally set up bases and shit in Lebanon, like when they were
and
doing
that's
their
what
whole,
Hillary Clinton has done and is still doing right now.
And you could find social
So
media.
you're so angry about what's happening.
There was
in
like a really
Gaza.
famous one that was
Why
like,
didn't you
I'm
lead
an
with that?
Israeli leftist,
Because she's
and,
not.
Like we're just gonna have to
So
just
here she is again
defensively
lying.
take
They're
a little
all
bit of
in on it.
Lebanon.
All of these
Just the
politicians,
southern
most of
bit.
them, had agreed to the Greater Israel Project. And you cannot have the Greater Israel Project without the complete destruction of the Palestinian
no, I'm
people.
not doing it.
Without
No, it's not worth it.
stealing Gaza, without stealing the West Bank, without going into Syria, Lebanon. You can't have that without those things happening.
Not doing the.
So Hillary
I haven't
Clinton,
beaten
George W. Bush, Bill Clinton,
the like perfect
Barack
Dracula yet.
Obama,
I was gonna do
Donald
it on the lower
Trump,
boss cell
Joe
first.
Biden, all of these people supported the Greater Israel Project. And all these years, they have been gaslighting you by making you believe that a two-state solution was on the way. Imagine standing up and fighting against the apartheid in South Africa, but being okay with what Israel is doing to Gaza.
And be dealing with them. That's why the national security strategy is not to my liking, because I think the United States has an important role in trying to resolve these conflicts and alleviate the suffering and give people a chance to have peaceful, prosperous lives.
It's definitely anti.
The U.S. government caused the suffering.
Oppose.
This is hilarious to
That
me.
should be our goal. That is in America's interest. I don't care where in the world you are. So, of course, the suffering in Gaza is horrific. Full stop. Suffering everywhere is horrific. So let's look at what we can do to try to resolve, you know, what is being done to people in so many different settings right now.
The Queen. This is the way of the Queen.
You do that by ending the
the
U.S.
Queen,
relationship with Israel and stop sending
day
them
for the first
aid
time.
and weapons, etc.
But not on
That's how you do that. That's how you know she's being disingenuous. Now she's just talking out her ass.
I think that the emphasis on one terrible conflict sort of doesn't do justice to the challenges that we are confronting. And I don't want to see my country basically say, you know what, you know, those other presidents, they tried to resolve conflicts. They tried to stand for democracy and freedom. They stood up for human rights. What a waste of time.
Okay.
That is, to me,
I'm about done
an
listening to Hillary
abdication
Clinton
of leadership.
for the
And
rest
I
of my
want to
life,
see us
so I'm
involved
moving on from
everywhere,
this.
trying to stop the kind of horrible abuses that are going on.
Us being involved everywhere is what led to those horrible abuses.
Since, like, this more or less was... This was the Sarah Horowitz story just retold with Hillary Clinton. Like, she said almost the same exact stuff. Like, we need to control the lines of information so people aren't seeing, like, anything outside of what we want them to see.
Alright, so...
But then frame it as, like, dangerous propaganda.
Once upon a time...
Somebody,
in a
like, carrying
far,
their kids'
far
limbs.
land where politicians...
It's clearly a
from
bot. It's a bot farm.
Republicans to Democrats once had an obligation, some sort of benefit to reach to the other side.
Comics? Are you referring to comics like Joe Rogan?
To build that bridge, to come to an agreement. Both
No,
sides
but like DC,
compromising
yeah, I like DC
and
comics.
coming to
in
an
particular.
agreement
But
that
I also have a lot of
would help
manga.
the American
You
people.
include those in the
Okay?
comics category.
Once upon a time. But unfortunately, in 2025, that is not the case here. That cannot happen. And it is not because we're just stubborn and we don't want to work with other people.
Damn, I love Mushroom
We
Boy.
are at a point
Oh, and it's 9.
to where
Oh,
one
man.
party,
I'm gonna have to take it.
Republicans, are not playing by the rules. They don't care about decorum. They don't care about respecting other people. They don't care about compromising. They are pushing and forcing their agenda on the
Okay, I'm
masses.
sorry, cluster grenade.
Regardless if you agree with
I'll
it
leave it. If it
or
doesn't
not.
work out, I'll
They
leave
say
it here for a
F the
second.
Constitution. They don't care. So at this point, I am happy to announce
Yeah, like
that
what,
I
like
am
you're talking about
part-
like earlier
I am being
eras
a part
of them or
of
something.
The fuck it leftist.
But yes, they are
I
very,
understand
they are
it.
very woke.
At some point, progressives need to have that fucking energy. And it's not in a sense of we don't care or we're going to be hateful like Republicans, but we're going to not cater to people's
Oh
feelings.
shit, I hate those guys.
We're not going to play
Oh, I'm
the
so
nice
fucked.
guy. we're not gonna sit here and, say, oh man, we
I don't think you
our
can't even
hopes
parry
and
anything those
prayers
guys do.
go out to you. We're actually in a position to where we want to force the change that is beneficial for the American people. We're done playing nice here. If they go low, we're going to go lower. And we're going to show them if you want to live in the mud, we can live in the mud. If that's what you want to do, we going to get it in.
Actually,
Sam Altman
a little old, but I want to
says
hear
that the average ChatGPT query uses around 0.000085 gallons of water, or roughly 1/15 of a teaspoon. But then at the same time, somehow a Morgan Stanley projection predicted annual water use for cooling and electricity generation by AI data centers could reach around 1,000 billion liters by 2028. That's 1 trillion liters, an 11-fold increase from 2024 estimates. AI water use is extremely easy to mislead people about for a few different reasons. And one of them is that the average American has not updated their understanding of what water use is since they were in elementary school. And this is fine. We don't all need to understand this stuff, but then it gets dragged into the discourse. And of course, we all talk out of our asses while experts rub their temples from the sidelines.
I'm invisible.
As far as I can tell, though OpenAI does not let people inspect the sources of their data, both of these numbers are true. 1/15 of a teaspoon per query and 1 trillion liters of water per year by 2028. And you might think, okay, well, Morgan Stanley must just be imagining a future where there's a tremendous number of queries. But no, actually. No matter how you multiply 1/15 of a teaspoon, you're never going to get anywhere close to 1 trillion liters of water use. The thing is, water consumption
not the best strategy,
analysis,
though.
indeed any resource consumption analysis for an industry or a product or a conversation with a chatbot is really tricky to do. There are multiple fields of economics and science devoted to this. If you're going to try and package that up into some nice, neat numbers that the average person will understand, you're going to be fudging a lot of stuff. So this seems like a
Tactics
good
and
time
range. Oh, yeah,
to
for sure.
actually get into why it's so hard. But first, this video is brought to you by a little outfit called Ground News. Ground News is a website and app that pulls coverage of the same story from tons of different outlets from all over the political spectrum and all over the world. And they show you the differences in headline language, in political leaning, in factuality, even
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
And that transparency.
No,
can
no,
make it
no,
much
no.
harder
Stop,
for
stop,
any
stop.
one
Don't kill
narrative
me.
to quietly settle into your head unchecked. I'm sure you're going to be shocked to hear this,
It's
but I
over.
believe this
It's
is a
over.
better way
It's
to
over.
get the news than just letting whatever is the most inflammatory thing that is getting the most clicks and reshares and being amplified
Oh my
by
God.
algorithms
It's
be
okay,
the
it's
thing
okay,
that
I got
enters
it, I
your
got it, I
brain.
managed.
And weirdly, as I'm recording this, like I'm
Okay,
about
I'll
to
heal.
upload
I'm
this
gonna
video
heal. I'll do
today,
it.
there is a news story about Trump and AI regulation. Trump says he will sign an executive order this week. So not a law passed by Congress, just an executive order that the president has created all on his own on the AI approval process, which is, I guess, one way to say it. This story has been covered by a lot of outlets, more on the right than on the left, but pretty decently both sides. Now I can click see all here and I can find outlets that I like,
I just
like
don't- I don't do
Reuters,
it.
and I can click and read that over on Reuters in a place that's not breaking Reuters' business model so they can keep employing journalists to do this work. But it says President Donald Trump said on Monday that he would sign an executive order this week that would create a single national rule for artificial intelligence, which the industry has said is necessary to override disparate laws passed by U.S. states. You could see one way of interpreting this. Trump says that he will sign executive order blocking state AI regulations despite safety fears. And you could see a version of this from the right. Trump to issue one rule book AI executive order after Congress fails to curb bad actor states. So it's the fault of Congress here. So that's the kind of thing where you could see a very different version of reality depending on what your news budget looks like. And also, honestly, I'm not sure without like using regular news if I would have heard about this at all. And you can subscribe to get 40% off the Vantage plan using the QR code that's been on the screen the whole time.
Oh my god!
Using
Oh my
the
god!
link, which is ground.news/.
I saw it way too late. I saw it. I saw it. Oh my
why
god.
do data centers use water at all? So the actual computer
This is all
chips that
happening
do the
because I just
processing
refuse to
for
heal.
AI get hot when they run, but also they don't work as well when they get too hot. So you got to cool everything down
That would've been-
so
that
that
would've
everything
just been a
runs
little hit.
optimally and the
Okay,
chips have
okay,
the
come on,
optimal
let's be
lifespan. And you're
serious.
optimizing everything so you get like the most processing power per unit of dollars you spend. Part of that is cooling everything down, and one of the most efficient ways to do that is with water. Many facilities use evaporative cooling, where they literally turn clean water into water vapor, and that water vapor carries the heat away. It's warmer, and it's taking the heat away. Good! Now, that's not the only way you do it. Some sites recycle water, or they use non-potable water, so water that's come out of a sewage treatment plant that you couldn't drink. But most of them still rely on fresh municipal water, the same water that a water company would be delivering to you, they are delivering to them. And this is important because municipal water is a
Oh my god, I
kind of
forgot,
water.
I forgot,
And yes,
I forgot, I
there are
forgot, I
many
forgot, I
different kinds
forgot.
of water,
Leave me alone,
and
leave me
the
alone.
differences matter. Because look, no one's destroying the water here. The water that evaporates, it's just gonna fall down somewhere else eventually. But it does evaporate. It does go away. It is used up. And this is generally clean water that could be used for something else.
No thanks.
It's been processed to be clean enough to drink and delivered using the same infrastructure as the rest of the city. And all that processing and all that infrastructure costs money, and it can't handle an infinite amount of water going through the system. This is industrial water use, but it's usually the same water as everything else. It's the municipal water. Now, OpenAI did not release information on where the water use figures come from, but I can make some guesses. First, Sam is talking about the water use per query. But importantly, different queries work different ways with AI. And many queries will actually result in multiple queries you never even see. This is something Sam Altman knows, but it's not something that most people know. Behind the scenes, when you ask GPT-5 a question, it frequently thinks. They call this reasoning models, and it thinks by like preparing and sending out other queries and then reading the results of those queries and then sending out more queries and then maybe like it might spur a search of the internet. So if you ask it a somewhat complex question,
there's
it will
like
run an initial query and then it will take that response and evaluate it using another query. It sometimes runs follow-ups until it's happy with the final answer. All those extra queries
DCs,
are additional
those are
queries.
fun.
So
Where,
one
like, they
query
become
might not
zombies.
be
They're, like,
one
not connected
query.
to
Sometimes it
anything
is,
canon.
but sometimes it's a bunch. So this in itself might multiply this 1/15 of a teaspoon by like 15.
I like the
don't
Rebirth
know, of
comics,
course, because OpenAI
like,
doesn't
just,
share any of
like,
this
most of the
information.
arcs
But
in
even in
there,
that situation, it's still just a
particularly
teaspoon.
my-
I drink
the Bat
teaspoons all
Family
day
kind
long.
of
That's
stuff.
for me not
Detective
really the
Comics in the
lie in
Rebirth
Sam's
era.
lie
I
here.
don't
And I am going to call it a
like
lie because I think it is. The actual lie
Ego.
is that it is only counting the
Batman
water
Ego,
used
that's a
during
great
the part of the life cycle when you're actually querying the chatbot, not all of the other parts of the process that are necessary for this system to exist. This is the big difference between Morgan Stanley's analysis and Sam Altman's. There are a lot of other parts of this process that are not the final step of the consumer
I like the Dark
querying
Knight's
the
Middle
chatbot. And you've
stuff.
probably thought of one.
Some people don't like it.
but
Some
you
people don't
probably
like Scott
haven't thought
Snyder
of
in
the
general.
biggest one. And I want to do a test right now. And
But I
find
like
out
the Batman
So if you
Who
thought
Laughs
of
and
one
all that
place where the
stuff. I
chatbot
think
is
those
using
are-
water that isn't the query, you probably thought of the training. The thing about these systems is that the training never really
Anyway, yeah,
stops,
those-
even
I'm
while we're
mainly
using one
into-
model
like,
like
I don't really like
GPT-5, which
Superman
is
stuff
actually a
and
bunch
all
of
that.
models all stuck together. OpenAI and its competitors are constantly training newer, bigger versions that no one can use yet. And to create these models, like the system runs for weeks or months on enormous clusters of GPUs, burning through electricity and
Oh, the
water for
Batgirl
cooling.
and
It's not
Batwoman
really fair
Rebirth
to
arcs
treat
are
that
fun, too.
training
Anyway,
footprint as separate
that's
from
it.
every conversation you have with the model. The conversation could not happen without the training. So if you wanted to be honest, you got to make some choices. So probably you would want to spread the water used to train all of the models in GPT-5 and spread it across every query people make. Problem here is, no one knows how to do that accurately because OpenAI doesn't share this information, which is part of why it is so easy to get numbers that are both very
if you're
correct
into,
and very different
Swamp
from each
Thing,
other.
like
And part
Swamp
of why
Thing,
it's
Alan
so
Moore.
easy to lie
He
about
has a great
this,
Swamp
from
Thing
either
arc.
direction, by
But
the way.
also the,
like you
I
could
think it's the New
include
52.
every training that has ever happened
Animal
leading
Man
up to
and Swamp Thing
GPT-5,
are
since
both really
certainly GPT-5 would not have been possible without those training events. Or you could just include the training of the models that are part of GPT-5, or you could also include the training of models that are not being used yet. You could say if people didn't like and didn't use this product, then those training events wouldn't be happening, and so we should include those too. All those different choices will yield different results. If you want the number to look small, you could do that. If you want the number to look big, you could do that. And the training is a very big part of what makes these things work. Once you make a model, an individual query isn't that hard. But building the models is very energy intensive. According to estimates from the University of California, the training of AI models can account for around 50% of their total resource use. The training is big. And weirdly, Sam seems to have decided to not include it when discussing the water use of a ChatGPT query. Because look, it is true
I know, I'm
any
gonna have to go
individual
fight
query
those elites
doesn't use
eventually.
that
I'm
water.
trying to
With
avoid
resource
it.
use analysis, you have to decide where to draw the line. But look, anyone doing actual analysis would definitely include the training, because it's obviously a needed part
Oh
of the
my God.
process. But of course, this is messy. The more a model is used, the more the training cost in dollars, electricity, and water gets distributed across queries. That training water has already been consumed. It isn't being consumed anymore. Though, again, they are always training something new, and they seem to believe very powerfully that future training will be more, not less,
should
resource
get
intensive than
Mushroom
current
Boy so we
models,
can do some
since
more
that's the whole
consistent
thing that's
damage
causing them to build
against
data
whatever.
centers the way beavers build dams. The data center build-out is nuts. All of the system we have now works for what we have now. This is all build out for something bigger and better that we assume will materialize. This is a different conversation.
Aw, fuck
Microsoft
you.
and Google and Amazon alone are collectively spending more than $100 billion a year on new data centers. I don't know if we could get into our heads how much money that is. But now I want to talk a little bit about what I see as like misleading in the other direction. And it's all going to make sense, but I find it misleading in the other direction. So
Strange
if you have
taste to
heard
the food.
truly
The
massive
old
numbers
cook was
relating
off
to AI water
to
use,
an
the
orphanage.
biggest
No,
source
there's a
included
barracks.
in those analyses I have not mentioned yet. This one is hidden enough that most people do not think of it. We know that data centers use lots of water, but they also use a lot of electricity. And you know what else uses a lot of water? Power plants, specifically thermoelectric power plants. So a lot of power plants work in the following way. First, you make heat, then you expose water to that heat. It expands into steam, and that expansion drives past a turbine, and that turbine then spins, and that creates the electricity.
compendium.
But then
I
on the
didn't know
other
about
side of
that.
this, nobody ever
I
thinks
don't
about
really
what
follow,
happens. Doesn't just
like,
vent
really
out into
closely
the
news
atmosphere.
about it.
You actually have to suck the steam through by recondensing the steam after it passes through the turbine. And the way you do that is by cooling off the steam, and the way you do that is by running the steam pipe through a bunch of cold water. So this is how natural gas and coal and nuclear power plants all work. And according to the US Geological Survey, electricity generation accounts for, get this, 40% of all freshwater withdrawals in the United States.
I already know
Now,
this,
this
right?
is
Okay.
confusing
Just
though,
making sure there's
because
nothing
the power plants then just put a lot,
defined.
not all, but a lot of that water back. So a lot of this water is intake and then return. And also, importantly, none of this is municipal water. It has not gone through the process to make it safe to drink.
Fun.
It is
I'd
not
use
being
the bathroom
piped
really.
through a municipal water system that would need to
Or,
scale
you know,
up
the
to
normal
manage
speed.
this massive need. It is not sent to a sewage treatment plant. It is usually taken directly from a river, a lake, or the ocean, and then released back into that river, lake, or ocean. Though some water will be lost to evaporation in this process. I wish I had the number in front of me. Hank from the future here, it's about 2 to 3%. So this is the water that people are sometimes counting if they want AI water use to look really massive. They are looking at the mix of power that AI data centers are using. And then they were looking specifically at the thermoelectric power plants that are part of that. They're looking at how much electricity is being drawn from those power plants, and then looking at what percentage of that power plant's water use can be attributed to the AI data center. And they are looking at water that is coming in and out, not just water that's being evaporated away. Now, I don't want to say that this doesn't matter. Power plants use a lot of water. A lot of it evaporates when the power plants are running. And also, the waste heat that ends up in waterways can have tremendous effects on ecosystems, and that needs to be managed and regulated. Waste heat is a kind of pollution. You can't just dump heat into the ocean or into a river and expect things to go fine. In fact, rivers often, only a degree or two of difference, can really mess things up. But including the water that flows through a power plant as water use, it does feel a little wrong to me. Taking water from a river or a lake is different from taking drinking water from a treatment plant. Putting drinking water on your lawn is actually cheaper per gallon for the water company than using it in your sink or shower, because it doesn't need to go through the wastewater treatment process. One kind of use is different from other kinds of use. But of course, even though municipal water and industrial water are not the same thing, that does not
Heat
mean that
pollution is
water
honestly
is
something
like
I had not
unlimited.
considered
Every
a
place
lot.
has a finite hydrological
Interesting.
budget. A certain amount of water that can be pulled from rivers, lakes, reservoirs, or aquifers without causing real harm. You could shift where the strain shows up, because maybe it's
I know,
in municipal
light
treatment
pollution,
capacity,
but
but
that's
maybe
more like-
it's in an
I don't know if it's
overdrawn
technically,
aquifer,
like,
or
pollution in
maybe
the
it's in a
same
river
sense.
whose temperature or flow is already stressed. But you cannot escape
guess
the
light
fact
pollution could
that
just
water water
ecosystem
is
if it were
locally
bad.
limited. A data center drawing from a lake is not competing with households for tap water, but it is drawing from the same watershed. And in a lot of places, that watershed is already fully
Oh, my old
allocated,
foe.
but in a lot of places, that's not the case. So the question isn't just what kind of water is it using, it is also, does this place actually have the water to spare? Some places
fuck,
do,
scroll
some
fragment.
places do not. And this is usually what we picture when we talk about saving water. A finite pool of usable water in a particular place. And that's part of the story, but not the only part, because what kind of water you need can matter just as much, if not more, as how much there is. A great example of this, a lot of water is actually used to make the chips that run AI data centers, like those NVIDIA GPUs. A huge amount of water is necessary for the creation of those, and that is part of the life cycle. Now, when you compare that to the water used for cooling, it's very small, but it's a different kind of water. It's not just not lake water. This has to be ultra pure water that has like nothing in it. It's like extremely distilled to make sure that there's nothing in it that could possibly mess up the chips. So it's a very small fraction of the amount of water used in the process of AI existing. But that water is harder to produce
So
than
wait,
drinking
is it-
water.
is
It requires
is it
way
the
more
New
energy
Frontier?
to produce than
Or is it
drinking
just-
water. And that's not something that
I don't understand
anybody
from the way you
needs
said it.
to
It's just
know
Frontier. I
unless
haven't
they're
heard of it.
experts working on this problem. Now, most of the water used to cool data centers also doesn't go to sewage treatment plants, just like irrigating your lawn. That water doesn't go to sewage treatment plants. Most of it gets evaporated away, but a fair portion actually does end up going to treatment, because once a lot of water evaporates away, minerals don't evaporate away and they start to build up, and then that has to be like blown out before it starts to create a problem for the evaporators. And that has to go somewhere to get treated. In fact, it sometimes needs special treatment because the minerals that are left behind can make it acidic, and you don't want to release a bunch of acid into a river. My point here overall is that this is complex, and that means to me two things. One, it's really easy to mislead about it. It's easy to misrepresent by leaving out training and making the water use seem really small. It's easy to misrepresent by including water flowing through a power plant to make water use seem even bigger than it is. But the second thing that I hope you walk away from this video with is that, like, I know next to nothing about this.
But this sounds
Like,
really
I have
cool.
a master's degree in environmental studies that's old, by the way. This is pre-AI. So I have, like, some basis from which to start doing the research
Have
necessary.
you read
that I did
this
to
actually
write
reminds
this
me
video.
like
But I
one
still
of the few
know
Superman comics that I do know,
basically
the Red
nothing.
Sun.
Like, if an
Have you read
expert
Red Sun
watches
before?
this video, they're gonna
Great
see
one.
a ton of
You-
holes
you
in it.
probably
Maybe,
like it
that
if you
thing's
this
kind of
sounds like
wrong. And
something
like, oh, you forgot about this.
that
Like,
would
this
appeal to
is the
somebody who would
reason
like that.
why expertise is so important, because
It's basically
the
like if Superman had
discourse
been
is
if he had
parallel.
landed in the
There are
Soviet
people
Union
who are actually
instead of
involved in this conservation.
the US.
We're actually involved in trying to like mitigate this, to decrease the water use, and they are aware that AI is just one of many industrial uses of municipal water, and that is very different from water evaporating at a power plant that isn't coming from municipal water. So here's the crazy part, because any resource manager will tell you that use is one part of the story, and often the smaller part of the story. What matters most is where you're using it, the context around the use. A bunch of data centers in the desert is a totally different game than a bunch in the Pacific Northwest. Water is not like electrons. It is hard to move around. If you use water where it's scarce, it matters a lot more than if you use it where it's plentiful. And it also matters how you respond to that. When you build a data center in the desert, do you make sure you're running your cooling with non-potable water from a treatment plant? Is that taking away from water that would normally be used for turf irrigation? And now the turf is being irrigated by municipal water? Or maybe you're responding by building systems that recycle the water. Or maybe you're responding by using air cooling, which might use more electricity, but that's fine if there's a lot of solar nearby. To wrap this up, let me hit you with something that is very, very weird. AI data centers are going to use a lot of water, but they are not going to use anything like as much water as the weirdest industrial use of water that we have. It is so weird. I hate it so much. Corn is one of the thirstiest major crops grown in the U.S. On average, it takes between 600,000 and 1 million gallons of irrigation water to grow an acre of corn, depending on rainfall. Corn uses orders of magnitude more water than AI. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, U.S. corn production requires around 20 trillion gallons of water per year, compared to the total estimated global AI data center water use of around 260 billion gallons. In other words, American corn alone uses nearly 80 times more water annually than all of the world's AI services.
Oh, no.
And I totally forgive
Oh,
you
fuck,
if
it's
you are
them
thinking
too.
right now,
Fuck,
okay,
Nick.
yes, but corn is food. We eat it. Food is very important for people. But that's the thing. We don't eat it. Maybe 1% of corn is eaten by humans. A lot of
no,
it is eaten
no,
by
no.
livestock.
I'm
But
gonna have to go. I have
40%
to
of
leave.
it is burned
I have to
in our
stop streaming
cars
too.
and trucks. That acre of corn that evaporated 1 million gallons of irrigation water will get you roughly
gonna have to
500
restart, though. This
gallons
fucking
of
sucks.
ethanol. So before we even
Totally
talk about
fucked it.
processing, every gallon of ethanol already carries an irrigation footprint of around 1,500 gallons of water. Extend that to 40% of the U.S. corn crop, and yeah, it is tens of trillions of gallons of water being evaporated by corn that we
Batman
can
and
burn it to move our
Dracula.
cars and
Damn,
trucks
that sounds
around.
cool.
But also, take a step down. There are different
Oh, man,
kinds
that
of water.
sucks
This is
so
not
much.
municipal water.
You know
But if
what?
the
No,
water
I am
passing
gonna
through a
restart.
power
Fuck
plant
it.
counts as
I'm gonna
water
restart, and I'm
use,
just gonna go
then
straight
I think
to
it's fair
the,
to say this does as well. And also,
The bosses,
you want to know
and
what
just-
definitely
if
uses
it works
municipal
out, it
water?
does.
The trillions of
maybe I'll just
gallons of water that we use to irrigate our lawns every year. I find this all very interesting. When we talk about water use, it makes sense that you and I don't have a deep
Frick.
understanding of all of this complexity. You do not need to have the level of complexity that you now have having watched this
frustrated.
video. I don't really need to have it either. The reality is, some areas are right up against their hydrological budgets. They can't have new uses. Others have room.
Like
Some
myself
uses,
here.
like irrigating the entire corn belt, involve staggering amounts of water that we've just learned to see as normal. And I get why people jump on AI water use. Wasting water feels immoral. We are told our whole lives to turn off that sink while we brush, and that feels so inconsequential next to industrial use, and industrial use honestly feels inconsequential next to agricultural use. In specific places that are up against their hydrological budgets, it can absolutely make sense to not add new use and to save every
You know what?
bit
No, fuck
we
it.
can.
No, I
Building
had to
a water-cooled
help
data
myself
center
here.
in Tucson is just very dumb. It's a
I
bad
have to
idea.
ensure the best
Dumb as
outcome for
shit, but on
myself,
the whole,
and that would be
I think there are
not
people who
going
understand
against
these
the final
systems
boss.
much better than I do, who will be working
health
on the
recharges.
resource planning and doing an okay job of it. And with water use
Guys,
specifically.
focus on the goal here.
Now, it's
which
going to be a
is
big deal in some areas. I don't want
the
to say
next
it's never going to
muscle.
be a big deal. Like, I don't want people to come for me. Even under the maximalist goals of AI companies, the projected increase in water use is small compared to what cities and industries already use. What I am much more worried about is that the projected increase in power demand is not small. It is an order of magnitude larger in like the percent
Might
of
be. Maybe I'm
existing
being a little
infrastructure.
too
That's
harsh on
going to hit our
myself, but I
carbon
can't go
budgets,
back now.
and it's going to hit our wallets. I think this is a bigger deal politically. I think it's a bigger deal environmentally. That's where I am more focused personally. Like maybe
Okay, wait, hold
water
on. I have
use
to look
feels
this
more
up really
salient
fast.
because
Batman
it
and
feels worse to
Dracula.
waste water. But in terms of actual impact, on average, I think that the power is going to be the bigger deal. But it's also very hard to compare them, right? Because like river health has very little to do with your power bill. Like those things are very separate problems.
Oh, wow,
from each
they're
other.
old.
But honestly, even
That's
more
cool.
than either of these things, I remain really unconvinced that these planned build-outs are actually going to happen.
barracks,
And if they
that's right.
don't,
Okay,
we've got this other set of very big problems. Like if we've spent like $1 trillion on NVIDIA chips, and it turns out the compute isn't needed because more compute doesn't actually improve these systems as much as advertised, or because environmental or political constraints slow everything down, then my bigger concern is that we will have swallowed a story that is, I know, like exciting and compelling. Like, I don't want to say these technologies aren't interesting, but like maybe not as immediately world-changing as the billionaires racing each other around seem to think. And if we have bet like a fairly large percentage of the S&P 500 and also quite a bit of our current economic growth on this future that just doesn't materialize immediately, even if it does eventually, but not immediately, my biggest concern, is this bubble popping? I am worried about that. I think that our entire economy is being wagered by not very many people making very strange choices based on an imagining of the future that is honestly, I don't think likely
It'd be
to
like
occur,
if the entire
which is not
economy
the
was
topic
being
of the
propped
video,
up
but
by
I
like
ended up here
VR,
anyway
like
because I
when
started
Mark
talking about what
Zuckerberg
I'm
was on his
most worried
metaverse
about.
shit.
Like I
If it was
can't
just the,
predict
like,
the future.
90%
No
of the
one can
economy.
predict the future. As Cory Doctorow likes to say, I love this. If you could predict the future, it would mean that we have no agency, and what a terrible outcome that would be.
Okay.
We do have agency, we can affect these things. I remain fairly unconvinced that people are going to continue inviting giant machines that raise their electricity bills while while eating jobs into their community. There seems to be a great deal of debate over whether these tools are actually that useful at all, which I can't
my God.
find a place in.
Well,
like,
I'll
I
keep note of
just
that.
simply don't know. But we cannot predict the future. We cannot even
May have jumped the gun a little bit.
agree upon
No,
the
wait, I
present.
used the
But
health
yes,
thing,
in
so never
conclusion,
mind.
resource analysis is complex, the incentives are weird, and we have a very long history
Oh
of
shit, I could go back
underestimating
and
how
heal.
dumb
Oh, no,
corn
don't do
ethanol
it. Don't do
is. All
it.
that
Resist,
combined
resist.
means that it is very easy to lie about AI water use. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Goodbye.
There, I see. It's always the same one, right?
This crazy woman's on my screen right now, holding
one?
holding it.
Okay.
The one holding
You
the
gotta be more-
unlit.
All right, so we've seen a bunch of polls lately about
'Cause he
the
did that whole interview where
2028
he was like,
Democratic primary,
interesting, very-
and long story short,
APAC.
Gavin Newsom is leading in
I don't hear about
most
them
of the
very often.
polls.
Very
I've seen some polls that
interesting.
still have Kamala up there.
That's
I've also seen
interesting.
some polls that have AOC at the top, but generally, I think Newsom is leading in the most polls that I've seen. So he knows this. He knows this, and he wants it bad. He wants to be president very, very badly. And, you know, everything he's done in this second Trump regime speaks to that, right? There was a moment on a podcast from, I want to say about a month ago, and this was a big deal. It was a big deal online. It was a big deal in left-wing circles. It's a big deal among the people that you need when you're running in a Democratic primary.
Oh, I'm so fucked here.
Gavin Newsom went on friend of the show, Van Lathan's podcast, and Van did a great job here, just basically saying to him, like, look, it's a moral red line if you take AIPAC money. Like, anybody who
that's
takes
fine.
AIPAC money, you're not going to get my support, and you're not going to get
That was the
the
longest
support
5
of a
seconds
lot
of my
of
life.
us lefties. And look
Have you
at
ever said
his
that?
reaction, because this was incredibly telling. Take a look.
Interesting. You're like the first to bring up AIPAC in years, which is interesting.
I will not vote for a candidate that takes
Oh,
$1
really?
from AIPAC.
It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I haven't thought about AIPAC, and
Like
it's interesting. You're like the
summary of
first
all
to
of
bring
them?
up
Damn.
AIPAC in years, which is interesting. Why did I say that? Not relevant to my day-to-day life.
Okay.
Which is just interesting.
Listen.
It's interesting you say that. JPAC perhaps more, but AIPAC less and less.
Okay, fair enough.
Which is just interesting.
What's interesting about it?
The thing.
That it's just interesting as you bring up AIPAC that it hasn't been part of. I'm just reflecting quite openly and honestly.
Mhm.
Hasn't been part of.
With that, what I'm talking about is lobbying in and of itself.
So, in the moment, I don't think Van Lathan was getting the hint that Gavin was dropping. Gavin was subtly trying to be like, maybe you're an anti-Semite. Maybe that's what he was getting at. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, interesting. You bring up AIPAC. Interesting. That's him being like, huh? Why would you bring that up?
Oh god, I'm fucked. I'm
Why,
fucked. I'm
why are you
fucked.
so obsessed with the
You know,
Jews? That's like the
psych,
implication.
stop.
And
Come on.
so
There
that
you
was
go.
his reaction.
Go in,
but
you're
it's
fine.
now been, like I said,
No
maybe
big
about a
deal.
month since this podcast, and Gavin, if there's one thing he is for sure, it's a shapeshifter. So now he does this new podcast with Jack
Okay, maybe I'm
Cocciarella,
a little too nervous
and,
to fight things now. The
Listen to what
invisibility
he
is.
says here. There's a big switch up from what he said previously.
A little bit ago,
most of
you
them.
did an interview, Higher Learning,
A lot
and
of them.
the question
It
of
depends.
the question of AIPAC came up.
Oh yeah.
And like it wasn't
We'll
really
go on a
necessarily a
case-by-case
question of AIPAC.
basis.
It was just a
on the
random. I
chance.
hadn't thought about AIPAC,
It
which I've
was-
never received any money from AIPAC.
It
And I was
was
sort of curious.
kind
when
of
it was brought
raised.
up.
You know,
AIPAC,
like,
DMFI, the
the
Israel lobby
self-aware
at large.
ones
This has
that wanna
become
take
a
over
big conversation,
humanity.
and someone like myself,
Yes,
and I think
destroy
at
them.
this point, a broad
copy
majority of
maker,
Democrats are
maybe,
saying
that's
we don't
fine.
want candidates who are taking money from AIPAC.
Yeah.
We don't want candidates who are beholden to the Israel lobby. When you look at what you were able to accomplish with the groundswell of support financially from people who said, I want to back this. I want to back fighters. I want to back people who are independent of an establishment. How do you think about AIPAC now? And maybe someone like Seth Moulton who said, I want to return this money. I'm not taking it anymore. How do you think that AIPAC should be involved or shouldn't be involved?
Well, they've never been
in the
involved with
future
me.
of the
I've never received $1 from them in my entire political career. So that's sort of absolute. So I've had an opinion on that going back decades now.
When you're thinking about your future and maybe the possibility of that,
Becoming a page across the
that
way.
piece, that piece of real estate.
Is there an age limit on becoming a page?
Is that the job that you might be
I don't know.
considering?
I've got a lot of resume I got to consider.
No, but seriously, when you're thinking about that and you're thinking about, and people just have this question because it's what they want to hear from our leadership. When you're thinking about who might be giving to support you and who might be behind you is that AIPAC money. Get behind you. Where is this in your head right now? I know you're thinking.
Oh my God, I'm so stupid.
No, but it's always. Look, I've been at this a
I
long
just
time.
cannot resist the
I come
temptation
from a private
to
sector background,
roll
small
through them.
businesses, sort of an entrepreneurial background, and I got into politics by the way of a remarkable leader, Willie Brown, who pointed me to the Parking and Traffic Commission. I mean, 20-something years old, I'm president of the Parking and Traffic Commission in San Francisco. And then I had my first election for Board of Supervisors, and that became a real issue. We had $500 limits, but people are still outraged. It was $500 from a particular union or the Chamber of Commerce. Which one are you? Are you a chamber corporate Democrat, or are you a union Democrat? Are you a big union Democrat, or are you a union, socialist union Democrat? And so it's always marked those moments of consciousness. And I've tried to do my best to always govern in the best interest of people, to represent the diversity of constituencies in my district, my state, and more broadly. But I will always be a present there. I don't take tobacco money, oil money. I've never taken AIPAC money. I mean, there's certain absolutes that are the lines that have been drawn for decades for me, and those will continue. And to the extent they need to evolve because of the devolution of certain interests, and we're experiencing that in real time along the lines of what we're talking, perhaps that will even grow. But the small dollar is become just the lifeblood for me of movement politics. And I'll tell you, I've never been blessed in that space the way I've been blessed since my recall. And with the work we've done the last 6 or 7 years that led to Prop 50. And we have one of the biggest databases in America that allow me the privilege, what a gift, to be able to not to worry about those larger checks.
And to be able to support other folks.
So, look, it's good that he's saying this, but you gotta beware. And the reason I say beware is, like he alluded to in the previous interview with Van Lathan, he brought up JPAC. There are other ways. AIPAC is just one part. It's a big part,
no, you probably
but
don't
one
toast
part
things either.
of the broader Israel
Do you
lobby.
iron things?
Right? The Israel lobby is
you're
more
on a
groups, it's
computer.
more organizations, it's more individuals. And
That
so
would have been the obvious
one of the
answer.
tricks that has been used is, okay, don't take money from the group AIPAC, but we'll just send it as individuals who previously would have sent it as individuals through AIPAC to get to you. Now we'll just send it as individuals, so it's less traceable, right? Or take it from JPAC or DMFI, which is another group that's very similar to AIPAC. So the broader Israel lobby, they have their ways of sort of muddying the waters and hiding it. And when it comes to Gavin Newsom, look, there are some politicians who would say something like this, and I would believe them when they're like, "Look, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm not gonna take that money anymore, whatever." There are some who I would believe. He's just not one of them. And the reason I say that, you gotta understand, guys, this is not me being an asshole. This is based on history.
I went in the blue one
Gavin
last
Newsom,
time, right?
When Trump got back in the White House, what did Gavin Newsom
This
do?
one's the one that's gonna have
Gavin
two
Newsom
little
started
fast
a podcast,
guys, I think.
and the first I don't even know how many, 4 episodes
the big
maybe,
guy that I parried.
was him just neutering himself live in front of the world. He would have on Charlie Kirk and let Charlie walk all over him and slap him around. I think he had on sloppy Steve Bannon, same fucking thing. He had on Michael Savage, who's
come
a
out of stealth, it's gonna
disgusting
come to
far
wherever I
right-wing
am.
radio host. He had on all these right-wingers and tried to do the whole oh, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya and talk about where we agree, and I will praise you for being good at what you do. And what he learned very quickly from the failure of those first 3 or 4 episodes, however many it was, is, oh shit, man, I miscalculated. He thought after Trump got back in the White House, what the country wanted of Democrats was, you need to be more bipartisan. You need to compromise more. You need to reach across the aisle more. You need to move further to the right. And what he learned very quickly is, no, if anything, it's the exact opposite. That Democratic voters are pissed off and they're done. They have zero tolerance now for Trump or any MAGA bullshit, any right-wing nonsense. We're furious. The polls in 2017 when Trump got in there were try to reach across the aisle, try to make some things work. The polls this time Trump got back in the office were fuck these people and the horse they rode in on, obstruct fucking everything, and be the opposite of them in every way imaginable. And he is a shapeshifter, so he miscalculated in the wake of Trump getting back in there, and he went to the right. And then after a while, he realized, oh shit, bad move. That's when he started giving his staffer free reign on the Gavin Newsom press office account, right, on Twitter. Go ahead, go ham. Fucking make fun of these Republicans, mock these Republicans, be vicious, because he got the message. The message is, okay, I miscalculated, go left, don't go right. And so now we see Gavin the fighter. And look, I like it. I don't want to be too harsh here. I want every politician to start acting like Newsom does when it comes to fighting. I want you to be a fighter just like Newsom. You don't have to copy exactly the thing with him, like parodying Trump. You don't have to do that.
Fighting in this
fight,
context
yes,
is
fight.
saying mean things
So I'm
on
with him
social
on that, and I'll give him credit on that. Credit where credit is due.
The gerrymandering thing, that's fighting.
He came out the other day and said
that's
he
real,
wasn't in favor of raising taxes on billionaires.
Politics.
I'm not kidding when I say that's literally over a 90% issue with the Democratic base. It's like 95%, maybe more than that,
too. Like,
that
he had
say,
them vote on whether
tax
or
the
not to do
billionaires.
it.
Like, the entire Democratic voting base thinks the billionaires are the problem. It's billionaires, it's warmongers, it's fascists. Those are the problem. And you're fucking gonna play patty cakes and footsies with the billionaires? Why? Because you want to raise more money for your fucking presidential campaign? And you know they have all of it? So you're trying to get that? Here he's pretending he's all about small dollar donations. No, the reason why you said you didn't want to raise taxes on billionaires is because you want their money when you run in 2028. That's why. And so a moment like that, every now and then he shows you. Like, he's a shapeshifter, but every now and then he's so out of touch he'll just do a total misstep, right? It was a total misstep when he said, oh, it's interesting about AIPAC. This is him course correcting, but again, he's got tricks up his sleeve. He's not going to take AIPAC money, but he will take JPAC money. He's not going to take AIPAC money, but he will take DMFI money. He's not going to take AIPAC money, but he will take fucking individual money that would have gone through AIPAC in the past, but now it's not. So just beware. Beware. Again, I don't want to be too harsh in the sense that I welcome everybody saying this, but we need to be more clear with our demands. That's the thing, guys. We need, because what's the point of saying don't take AIPAC money? The whole point of that is to say you need to take the position, no more money and no more weapons to Israel, and arrest Benjamin Netanyahu and Ben-Gvir and Smotrich and the war criminals. That's the point of saying, look, don't take any money from the Israel lobby. The whole point of that is because we want you to be good on Israel policy. Okay, well, what does it mean to be good on Israel policy? That's what it means. You have to come out and say, arrest the war criminals and cut off the money and cut off the weapons. That's what it is. So now we should just skip the middleman or just include this in it. Say, don't take any Israel lobby money. And also, do you support cutting off the money and cutting off the weapons to Israel? And do you support arresting the war criminals? That's the addendum, right? And that's just as important as the don't take AIPAC money or don't take Israel lobby money. So we should actually be more clear. It's not just AIPAC money.
No, it's fine.
Don't
it's
take
fine.
any Israel lobby money, right?
I'm fine
in the
with
same
that.
way that he said, oh, I don't take oil money,
it.
I don't take, whatever else he listed there. But nobody, on the Democratic side, nobody should be taking billionaire money. Nobody should be taking oil money. Nobody should be taking military-industrial complex money. Nobody should be taking Israel lobby money, Saudi lobby money, crypto money. That, like, if you're actually going to be a leader in this moment, you need to be all...
Freezing. More freezing. Ugh.
Small dollar donors, and if you are a real leader, you'll be able to raise just as much money that way.
Computer's kind of
you will.
going slow too in general.
So, is he going to go that far? No, but clearly he's trying to course correct here. But the question is, do you believe him? And in his case, I'm sorry, I don't. Especially because this happens a day after he just said he didn't want to raise taxes on billionaires. It's like, I think what he understands is the fighting part, and he gets credit for that. But what he doesn't get is the policy part, right? Like. He's one who will be a
like
good
my
fighter,
stuff too.
But at his core, he's still like very centrist.
It's literally,
you know what I'm saying?
It's the scroll
and what we need
and
is a fighter,
both
but
of
also
the things that I have,
a lefty.
But like
you
a higher
understand?
level
So like you
version.
have to be good on both prongs. You have to be good on both fronts. You have to be clear. It's the
Yeah,
billionaires
it's
and the
true. I guess
fascists
I'll
and the
do it.
warmongers that are your enemies. And I don't know if that's Gavin Newsom's enemy. I don't know. I cannot see it. I don't see it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.
Does it work that way? Does it just like rearrange? I don't know.
All right, welcome y'all to the Kyle Kulinski Show. I have plenty of stuff to dive into today, so...
You are an 88-year-old survivor of the Holocaust from Hungary. Do you believe what's happening in Gaza is a genocide?
Don't talk with anyone who doubts it.
Your father was sent to a concentration camp.
My family lost 15 members to Auschwitz.
How did you come across the issue of Palestine?
As a result of my visit to Israel, to my horror,
Oh, this is
I
gonna be
found
heavy.
that
I don't know. Hold on.
every member
I'm
of my
literally about to
family,
go.
they were all racist by
That's
that.
fine. No, that's
Towards
good.
everyone.
I'll leave it for
Yeah.
now.
What is it like to be a Jewish Holocaust survivor?
I'll feel
who's
bad if I'm like
accused,
focused
I'm
on a
sure you
boss
are,
and it, like
of being
he's
anti-Semitic.
like talking about like the
What I
Holocaust.
saw then
and I'm just like not
was
paying.
a
I feel bad.
byproduct of two armies fighting. And what I see in
His
Gaza
experience.
is deliberate stuff.
I'm just like, yeah.
It's even worse.
What would you say
Or
to
boss
someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, who says, "I'm fighting on behalf of all Jews"?
Oh fuck, I'm jinxing that.
For more than 2 years now,
I have a
supporters of
karmic
Israel
price to
have
pay for
insisted
the jokes. The
that calling
jokes
what's
I make.
happening in Gaza a genocide is a modern-day blood libel against
Okay,
Jewish
wait.
people. To accuse
Oh no, it's right in the middle.
Jews,
Fuck. Okay.
the victims of the greatest genocide of all time, of perpetrating a genocide against others, well, that's offensive.
I thought one of
That's
them
anti-Semitic.
aren't some of them arranged for it's like at the end
Is
of the
it?
second. I
The
thought I remember
consensus
doing
of
that
genocide
before.
scholars is that it is a genocide. But who better to ask about the genocide in Gaza? Not a genocide scholar, but an actual Holocaust survivor. Joining me now is 88-year-old Stephen Kaposh. Stephen, thanks so much.
Okay,
for coming on
that's
the show.
way better than I expected it to go.
Thank you for inviting me.
So you are an 88-year-old survivor of the Holocaust from Hungary, and you have been speaking out against what's happening in Gaza for over 2 years now here in the UK. You've become a very well-known activist at
I
demonstrations
thought I
on
could
the
parry the
media.
second one faster.
Do you
I was a
believe
little
what's happening
disappointed
in
by that.
Gaza is a genocide?
Absolutely. In fact, I think it is so obvious that I really don't talk about, don't talk with anyone who doubts it, because it's an absolute red line. It's so obvious.
You see people who deny the Gaza genocide
Whoa,
akin to
whoa.
Holocaust deniers. You don't engage with it, they deny it.
Yes, correct. We have a small group. The
Almost lost my
Holocaust,
cool a little bit. Almost healed
Survivor
for no
Center
reason.
Against the genocide in Gaza. It's a long title, but it does explain lots on it.
It's an important name, I think.
Yes, yes. And we, as you probably know, we stand by the side of the big marches, and we have extremely warm reception invariably. People are sometimes quite moved by the fact.
That's strange. I was told all these marches are anti-Semitic.
Well, that's exactly what we are doing, denying by being there and give a lie to this claim,
Okay, I can't really hear
which
him.
is
Hold
absurd. Both that these marches are no-go areas for Jews, or that these are hate marches, and we are sort of proof against
Yes.
it, if you like.
You're there not just as Jewish protesters against genocide, you're there as Holocaust survivors protesting against genocide, which is obviously a pretty unique and sad position to have to be in. Let's just, for the sake of our viewers who don't know about you, Stephen, you, I believe, were 7 years old when the World War II reached your hometown of Budapest.
Okay, this is dangerous.
You were forced to go into hiding. You were separated from your mother. Your father was sent to a
I
concentration
put the
camp.
controller down. I could have
Tell
just
us a little bit
accidentally
about
pressed
your childhood, about
like L2 or
enduring the
R2, and then
Holocaust.
I would
What
have
happened
fucked.
to your parents? What happened to you?
Yes. In about October 1944, the Hungarian semi-fascist.
Did I get the blueprint? I think I guess I got it on a different playthrough. I forgot. Okay.
Made a declaration.
Oh wait, no,
that Hungary
they're not
was
even
leaving
better.
the German
That's fine.
alliance. He made that from his palace in the Buda Hills, and was pretty quickly arrested by the Germans as a result. The
Fuck you.
Germans came in March '44, invading their ally. On the face of it, Hungary was an ally of Germany. From the declaration date onwards, the out-and-out fascist party, the Arrow Cross party, took power, and they were allied with or organized marauding.
Oh, that one's like you have to go
groups,
through a big
armed
obstacle course
groups
to get to
which
the
were
chest,
actually
right?
hunting
That is.
Jews.
I'm
So
really
suddenly,
not feeling it.
from that date onwards, the jeopardy was much greater for
The war panel.
Budapest Jews.
Do you remember that period yourself?
Both of those.
Yes, I do
It's okay.
remember, because it was on that day, on the day of declaration, that I was taken up into these protected homes. I mean, inverted commas, protected, and we had to go past a German checkpoint.
I'm still working with a pretty old weapon. Damn, the Flint one. It's a good weapon, though. I love it.
As we were going past, I was being carried. I was too small enough to be carried, and the person who was sent down from the homes to take me up had some magical pass, which he just flashed.
Oh, was there a
to
scroll
the German,
fragment? Did I miss it? Oh, it's okay.
crew, checkpoint, the soldiers who manned it. And they just stood to attention and waved us on. I don't know what was in that pass, but I kind of fantasized that probably it carried Hitler's signature or something, because that was all. They had one side of it, and we were waved on. And so from that point on, I was in hiding.
But not with your parents?
Not with my parents. My mother was in charge of a group of girls, and my aunt was in charge of a group of boys that I was attached to, and we were all on false papers, and
when I was about to unlock
refugees from the advancing Soviet troops on the Eastern Front, and obviously Aryan, and so some of us were meant to be war orphans. Anyway, everybody on false papers and false names. And my aunt, who was in charge, we were not allowed to recognize the family ties, for example, as a security.
But you and your parents, you survived the Holocaust. Your parents survived the Holocaust also.
Yes.
Even though your father was sent to a camp, he was one of the lucky ones.
Yeah. Well, yes, he was part of the Kastner project. That's how I got to Belsen.
Oh, I never replaced that
idea
either. That
was
sucks.
Those transports, who were organized by Kastner with a deal with the SS, were to be eventually allowed to go to Switzerland from Belsen. And the previous group did that, in fact. But the whole deal, where Himmler himself was involved, was behind Hitler's backs.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And
Okay,
when
yeah,
he
this is
discovered
good.
it, he stopped the whole thing. And in fact, Himmler was very nearly arrested at that time.
So, you say as a child you remember that.
Okay, I'm not
period.
ready for this.
It obviously influenced the way
I'm down a little bit.
you grew up, influenced your entire worldview. I do wonder, how has your childhood influenced the way you view the genocide in Gaza today? Do you find that your
No
own
healing
experience as a
flask.
child enduring a genocide
Pretty lame.
Has made you identify more closely maybe with the children in Gaza? What do you make of what you've seen over the past 2 years?
Liking this video? Then don't just watch, hit like, share and subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss a video or live show. But if you want early access to exclusive content, then you have to head to Zeteo.com and subscribe now. You'll be supporting fearless, independent journalism.
Well, yes. I mean, there has been othering and discrimination even before that critical date. For example, we all had, from a certain date on, we all had to wear the yellow star.
Yeah.
And I had to wear the yellow star, despite my young age. And I do remember that.
Oh, fuck!
Most of my experience at the time was rather mild, because I was too young to understand the implications and the dangers. It was in retrospect that I sort of realized how awful everything was and how dangerous.
The parry is useless.
And of course, knowing that my
Still
family
moves
lost
me.
15 members to Auschwitz, and that was an impact on me more than what I actually personally experienced. That was just part of it.
So, how did you come across the issue of Palestine? How long have you been involved in Palestine? Actually?
Well, I think
you're 88 years young right now. How long have you been involved in the struggle for Palestinian liberation?
Okay. Quick.
First, I
suck at this
became,
boss,
without
man.
sort
Fuck.
of, putting necessarily an active label on it, anti-Zionist as a result of my visit to Israel to visit my family.
Yeah.
Some members of
I
my
really thought
family,
it would have more
in
DPS.
circuitous way through Romania, ended up.
What year was that you went to visit?
That was before the '67 war.
Okay.
Quite early. And I was completely shocked at what I found there. And this is, I think that was a critical influence on me. Because to my
Okay, so you
horror,
can't
I
parry
found
the
that
fucking...
every member of my
That's
family,
frustrating. I
and
thought,
a
like,
number
well,
of
you can
aunts,
parry it, but you get pushed off anyway, and then
cousins,
get
etc. They
damaged.
were all racist by then.
Towards Arab.
Yes, as they call them, not Palestinians.
Indeed.
And that really both horrified me, and I couldn't understand how it could happen. I now understand more about the impact of Egyptian
No,
propaganda. And
leave.
the kind
Wait.
of
Yeah, no, I have to leave now.
artificial fear
If I go back
that
in,
was
it'll
created
take too long.
them,
I'm sorry.
That somehow they bought
If I go
into
back
the
in, it'll
idea
take too long, and I'll...
that unless
when
they
I
forcefully
try
keep
to restart
down
it.
the Arabs, they would be driven into the sea, and it would.
Fuck, this is horrible.
existential
Okay,
danger,
it's fine
which
though. I can't.
am
I have to
convinced
do it this
was
way.
a complete lie.
There's no fucking way
You
I'm
go to before the
restarting.
67 war, before the occupation of West Bank and Gaza. Did you ever imagine at the time?
I'm basically
one
gonna do
day
this
you,
until I get
Stephen
exhausted,
Kaposh,
and
formerly
then
a young child living
if
through
I
the
don't beat it,
Holocaust, would be at protests against Israel?
I'm gonna give up for
saying
the
the
night,
world's
but then I'm
only
gonna keep
Jewish
doing it.
state
That's
is now
it.
guilty
That's
of
the only way to do it. There is no restarting.
No, I wasn't aware of it at the time at all. In fact, around that time, I wasn't particularly active in any way in politics because having come
If I had
after
known that-
the 1956 uprising in
That's fine.
Budapest, where I was actively involved in the demonstrations, and actually the uprising the day before really started at my university. But I have been through so many political upheavals.
I can't
and
time that at
changes
all.
That when I got to the UK,
I'm trying to parry it, but I
56,
can't.
I decided to concentrate on my profession rather than.
So how do you rediscover Palestinian activism? Is it more recently, in the last 10, 15 years?
Well, I think the critical experience was first the
This is going
false
terribly.
anti-Semitism campaign inside the Labour Party.
In just about every way, every imaginable way, this is
And
going
I
as
was
badly as it
horrified
possibly could.
by the complete
Just like,
cynicism.
I have no way to get those
I think
things
the
before
liberal
they,
lies that
like, I
surrounded
have
that
nothing that does
campaign
AoE damage at all
using
besides my
a
grenades.
false accusation
I'll have
of
to spare them,
anti-Semitism
but then he just keeps
against
bringing it
the
down.
left.
Fuck, I'm fucked.
And
I'm so
Jeremy
fucked.
Corbyn
I'm so
personally,
fucked.
But also his
And which is now
It's a terrible
continued
build.
into a general attack on pro-Palestine activists as being
Yes,
anti-Semitic.
yes. But that was the beginning.
And I sucked,
of,
yeah,
of my.
Were you a member of the Labour Party?
Yes.
Are you still a member of the Labour Party?
No. This links to how I became active in the Palestine thing, because I resigned from the Labour Party when, having been asked by a left socialist group, SLN, to address them about the Holocaust on Holocaust Memorial Day about 3 years ago. And I said yes.
Oh, fuck!
Because there are very few witnesses.
Oh my god,
left.
okay. Just
Yes,
give
I
up.
did.
Just quit.
And
Quit.
They put out my name as being on the panel advertising. And I immediately got a letter from the regional.
Oh my god, this is
office of the
horrible.
Labour Party saying that, putting me on notice.
No,
that if
yeah,
I go
I'm well
ahead
aware.
with that engagement, I would be
It's possible.
disciplinary
It can be done.
investigations would
No,
start
I don't know.
against
I don't
me.
know about that.
And I interpret that knowing
On this
how
try, I'm
those
not
sorts of
so
things
sure.
went in those days as being thrown out.
Yes.
That could be no other.
So you
outcome.
quit.
I immediately resigned with a letter, and that letter went viral because I ended the letter saying.
But
that
basically, I have to
maybe these
spare like every
techniques
grenade.
of,
Yeah.
false
Yeah.
accusation of anti-Semitism, etc., will work electorally in the short term. In the long term, it will be a matter of
Motherfucker.
shame.
It's over.
the
It's
Labour
over.
Party
Just stop.
That, it had to be the Labour Party who imported McCarthyism into this country.
Well said. I like the idea
And that went pretty viral.
I like the idea that an 85-year-old knows how to go viral.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I didn't realize how few of his attacks were parryable.
I'm sure you do. Let me ask you this: what is it like to be
Or
a
meaningfully
Jewish
parryable, I guess I should
Holocaust
say.
who is accused? I'm sure you are of being anti-Semitic. I'm sure
It's
there
fine.
are other Jewish
It's
people in the UK
okay.
who say you're a self-hating Jew.
I'm gonna
You know,
switch
Jews who
again,
oppose
I think.
what Israel are doing often
And try to
demonized,
cope
smeared
with the
as
fact that this
self-hating.
is not gonna happen.
What is it like for you as someone who literally survived the Holocaust to be accused of that?
Well, I don't take any notice of it, to be honest. And the worst that I had was when I was speaking at a Camden meeting. While I was speaking, there was an anti-demonstration by Zionists, and somebody
To be honest, I usually avoid grenades like all around.
Israeli flag perched
Except for at the
above
very
me,
beginning.
was calling me
I just kept getting them. For
repeating.
the
I didn't hear
build
it
the
because I was speaking.
whatever
but
it's called.
Other colleagues immediately
Skill tree or whatever. Thingy. It's not a tree. What's the fucking word?
And this guy was arrested.
It's interesting you mention the police because I believe the Met Police here in London brought you and 8 others in for questioning after you laid flowers at Trafalgar Square as part of a peaceful protest for Gaza. What did they bring you in for? What did they say you'd done wrong?
Well, this was a day when the police acted completely differently from normal. We kind of, I think it's fairly safe to assume, because of suggestions from above, from higher circles.
But what did they say to you that you'd done wrong?
The claim was the same as against Jeremy Corbyn and John McDonnell.
Oh,
who were
fuck
on
you,
either
man.
side of
Okay,
me
wait,
in
I can do this.
that particular demonstration. The claim was that we went
Yeah,
against
you know, yeah, for sure.
a police order
I
for
appreciate
the day,
the advice.
which was
Thank you.
to remain
But,
static
yeah.
instead of marching. The original idea was to march towards the BBC to protest against their distorted coverage, yes. And the police banned this in the last minute and said, no, you can't march. You got to be static at Whitehall.
And they took in an 88-year-old Holocaust survivor. What do you make of all these police rounding up of hundreds of Palestine Action protesters, little old ladies, grandmothers, priests, people in wheelchairs, blind people, a Labour government sending the police to do this? Did you ever think you'd see that in your lifetime as a survivor of fascism?
No, that's absolutely amazing. It's an own goal, actually.
Yes.
And
That's the one.
I'm amazed at the capacity of the government to create own goals one after the other. They will never give up. It is going to be. There already was some 2,000 people in total have been so arrested, and it will continue. And it's unmanageable.
It's very authoritarian.
Yes. Well, that's one of my themes actually. That as a
How am I supposed to
conclusion
fucking
from
anticipate
what
that? No, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Okay, I can do it though. I can do it. I can do it. It's possible.
Develops in stages. And it doesn't drop
Maybe.
out of the
It's
sky.
not possible.
And I think
it's so fucked. There's still the elite enemies and shit too.
dangerously on the way to various fascistic qualities. And
So on
I
that,
might
have
try
to
it
resist
tomorrow,
that.
though.
Yes, we do.
I might just
On
lose
that
heart
note,
here.
When people say, for example, Donald Trump in the United States, what he is doing resembles what Germany looks like in the 1920s, 1930s. Is that a fair comparison?
Absolutely. And also, I am very active to repeatedly try and break the taboo against comparison with the
I can't fucking time that.
actions with the Nazi actions.
So the IHRA definition, as you know,
Well, that's a
anti-Semitism,
catastrophe.
very
Fuck me.
controversial
Come on.
definition of anti-Semitism, says
Oh, come
comparing
on!
Israel's
Okay,
actions
no, I'm done. I'm
to the
done. I'm
Nazis
done.
is
I'm
a
out.
form of
I'm out.
anti-Semitism. You
So
reject.
out.
Absolutely. It's a taboo which must be broken.
I'm gonna say that like a few more times.
Do you think
I'm out.
Israel's
For real.
actions in Gaza are comparable to the Nazis?
Fuck me, man.
Yes, I think so. In quality, not in quantity,
Yeah.
because we are not yet in.
Thankfully.
And hope never will be in the millions.
Well, Israeli soldiers are on record telling the Israeli
It really
people, "I
is
felt
just like a
a Nazi in
distinctly
Gaza," one of
terrible-
them told.
Yeah, no.
an Israeli
Terrible
newspaper.
build for this
And
boss.
one of the comparisons I have is in 1944, the winter of 1944, we were not only in hiding from October to liberation, but also in double jeopardy, because it so happens that where the homes were,
Yeah.
was where the epicenter of the final fight between the German army and the Soviets was played out. And the
Oh,
front
come
line
on. No, 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 no.
us. And we had to relocate several times in double jeopardy.
How did I
Sometimes
roll
they
through
were
it
shot
before?
Yeah.
because they couldn't distinguish between groups of dots in the snowfields.
Yeah.
And so when it was over and we finally came out.
Okay, what's up with my parry timing on that?
Because
Hold
this
on.
is not typically was the greatest aerial destruction because it was the final fight. Because Budapest generally wasn't so destroyed. But just there, it was absolutely
Damn it.
horrendous. The royal castle burnt out, piles of rubble and glass.
No!
and
Fuck!
Burnt out tanks and dead horses
Ah.
and dead soldiers and abandoned ammunition. Look
Snake
just
fangs,
like
really?
us
It's like level 3,
certain
I
shots.
think.
So you're reminded
with
of
the difference I keep pointing out, that what I saw then was a byproduct of two armies fighting. And what I see in Gaza is deliberate destruction. It's
Well,
even
I mean,
worse.
I know it's
Well, there are a lot of people who will hear you say that and be outraged. A lot of Jewish people will say it is anti-Semitic. They will say it's over the top.
I don't know
obviously
about
have
that.
Privilege. It's a horrible privilege to have. I shouldn't
Yeah.
use the word privilege. You have the horrible right to speak on this as a Holocaust survivor. You can say certain things that other people can't say by virtue of the fact that you did survive the Holocaust. But let me ask you this. What do you make of the battles within the Jewish community over this issue? I know you sometimes go to protests with your daughter and your granddaughter. Do you see a generational change amongst British Jews when it comes to Israel and attitudes to Israel?
Yes, I think it's growing.
Is it like the main weapon? I've never used it before.
And I protest against, and we all
Wait,
protest.
also,
left wing.
This isn't even useful.
protest
Wait,
against
this
the board
is
of
gonna get
ethics
me killed.
and the JLM, and
These are British Jewish communal organizations.
Yeah. Claiming that they speak for the Jewish community. There isn't a homogeneous Jewish community. There are Zionist groups, and there are completely different socialist left-wing Jews. And they, the board of deputies, don't speak for the whole community. It's a myth that there is a
whatever.
so-called Jewish community. There are several communities.
But you would accept you're a minority within the British Jewish community.
But I'm not so sure about that.
Interesting.
Actually, I'm sure others have done research.
Yeah.
But in the circles that I move, the left-wing view is dominant. There are those Jews who say always with the oppressed, never with the oppressor. And there are many who subscribe to that.
What would you say to someone like Benjamin Netanyahu, who says, I'm fighting on behalf of all Jews?
No.
Propaganda claim, it's false. Completely
I can't
false.
find a good place to like heal in this at all.
I can speak.
Oh my god. I kept
at
getting interrupted.
Yad Vashem, when he said,
I'm gonna have to give up on this. This is going
with
horrible.
a reference to
Gonna be
use
real.
again the Holocaust for a cover for a basis for the impunity that
This has made me wonder how I
seem
beat
to
this like
have
any of the times I've ever beaten it.
claim. And for us, never again has a completely different meaning.
The answer is I had a
left
that's
Jews.
the answer.
We think that the conclusion from never again is that this kind of horror of the Holocaust should not be ever visited to any other nation or faith or group.
Kind of sucks that I would have to do that
And
every
it has
time
been
now.
done to Gaza by Israel.
And yes.
Stephen Kaposh, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Did you like this video? Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and turn on notifications. For exclusive content and to support our independent, unfiltered journalism, head over to Zeteo.com. Your support matters.
Shit, I lost track of myself. Damn it! I really can't heal during this at all. I have such a hard time finding an opportunity. Also, I should be way better at reading that. Oh, god damn it, dude. Tactics, probably. Like purple. Oh, wait.
I don't get invited to parties. I don't have any friends.
Okay, I might do
have a
one more
dog.
of these, and then I'm probably gonna switch the game to something more peaceful.
I feel bad for that dog. I feel bad for that dog. Can we get CPS to check on a dog? Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
You just said you backed the blue. The police quote you in this report as you calling them effing idiots and effing incompetent while stating that you're an effing representative and telling a TSA supervisor, I'm sick of your I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. You guys are always effing late.
Oh my
and
god.
This is effing ridiculous.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the
How do you do
manager
that?
at the pearly gates.
You're quoting a document that was in part falsified. They say a lot of things, and the video doesn't show that. There's no audio. I asked for all the body cam footage and the audio. They also state in the report that there was an incident at the gate. The video shows nothing that didn't happen. And
God, I'm
so
such a liar.
for me, it's important that we tell the truth. And I've taken responsibility. Yes, I was absolutely 100%
But did you say those things that that I just read?
No, I did not. I mean, I definitely.
So you're saying the police officers are lying?
No, I'm saying that is in part false.
So you guys probably remember that video I made about
Oh, yeah.
Mike Johnson and the Republican exodus from Congress? They got
Oh fuck!
Mike Johnson.
I fucked it. It's over. We're done.
Democrats claim Speaker Mike Johnson among slew of top Republicans expected to retire following epic rift with Trump over Epstein files. What? Not Mike Johnson? You mean this Mike Johnson? Reminder that Mike Johnson
It's no
named
big
the
deal.
law school he was dean of
Honestly, it's probably for the
after
best.
Predator Paul Pressler got his job because of Matt Gaetz and is now committed
In
to
terms of throwing
protecting
myself
Donald
in
Trump.
that very
This is not his
disadvantageous
first time
situation
at this rodeo.
over and over again.
That's right. He did get his job because of the whole
I really want to. I hope I
Matt
get another
Gaetz
invisibility
situation
amulet.
with Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, that's right. Wow. Mike Johnson, I wouldn't
I'm
expected
done
this
now.
out of you.
I'm gonna switch to the
You
invisible.
want to spend more time with your family? No? You don't rock with your family like that?
Mike Johnson's my cousin, and if it makes you feel any better, my family thinks he's a little weasel too.
That's the Mike Johnson I know. That's definitely the Mike Johnson I know. Yeah.
Oh, God
I
damn
can
it.
hear the
Oh man,
familiarity.
how did I fuck that up?
When Mike went to college, he came back and he was really, really into ministry. For instance, he made me and my friends feel really bad about the fact that we were
Yeah, there probably be a
hating
better
people,
tactics built to
gospel,
use against that
whatever.
bot. I think
And
that's almost
Mike
every
would
time.
say,
I've-
you should come
It's
preach
just-
with me down at the truck stop.
he was just getting
Apparently Mike
continuous
was kind
damage.
enough to go and minister with truckers
Something that I
in
put
their
down.
cabins, their trucks. Every night, he'd bring the Bible and he'd help those men find some comfort on the road in Christ.
Did you say truckers at the truck stop? In the cab? Mm-mm. Nah, I'm not asking no more questions about that.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Well, one of the things I mentioned was that Democrats have constructed a whole bingo board for who would be the next to leave. And as y'all know, I put my money on Nancy Mace. Well,
I'm not retiring. I have no interest in retiring. Am I absolutely frustrated with Congress? 100% yes.
I knew bingo was a scam. I knew bingo was a scam. No, because my granny told me bingo was a scam because I used to go down and visit her.
Honestly,
and I'd
if
be
you
like,
had
hey,
told me
Granny, why don't
that,
we go play bingo? And she's like, nah, because they be
Nancy
skimming off
Mace
the top.
would be
I'ma
like
just
crashing
put my
out
money on
and like
shuffleboard.
ruining her
She would
political
never mess with the
aspirations and
bingo.
everything.
And
You know,
now
just
I
going
see why.
insane.
Now I see why Nancy
I'm
Mace.
in that Marjorie Taylor Greene would be like making calculated moves to like position herself for like future runs in more prominent positions. I would have laughed at you like 5 years ago. I would have been like, no fucking way.
Island of one. I don't get
Marjorie
invited
Taylor
to
Greene.
parties. I don't have any friends.
Whatever,
I have a dog.
however long she's been in Congress, 4 years ago.
I feel bad for that dog. I feel bad for that dog. Can we get CPS to check on a dog? Can we? So my understanding, you don't want to leave Congress because you ain't got no friends to go home. That's the only way that you have some significance and esteem in your life. So that's what it's come to. It's either a retirement home or rent a buddy. The U.S. Congress. And it's no shock, honestly, Nancy Mace. We not surprised, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how to talk to people, you know what I mean? You meet somebody and you think you got a real connection and you say, we can take it outside.
She gonna keep saying trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
will.
am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am
Order.
not a
Chairman,
child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order. And that's just the women. Don't get me started on the men because, as I understand, you are unencumbered at this particular point in time. But should somebody try and holler, you want to air them out in front of the whole country.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from
Hold on, give me a second. Might have to restart.